Chapter 1. Luo Yu is very distressed now. As a game geek, he was directly hit by a big truck to a different world, and he just played the Star Railway. As everyone knows, there are 5 of the 4 heavenly kings and 19 of the 18 star gods, and that is him. Name, Luo Yu. Race, star god. Ability, omnipotent power, incomplete, destiny, all-encompassing, tolerance, experience, and the all-encompassing destiny. Whether you have development, joy, destruction, abundance, hunting, nothingness, etc., will not affect you as a part of the all-encompassing destiny. All-encompassing, also known as all-encompassing, is a very big concept. As long as I think you are a part of things, then you are also within the jurisdiction of my concept, no matter what you are. Even if you are something that does not exist and cannot be seen, that is also a part of everything, and it is more extensive and huge than Tongzi, the power of annexing the star god of order. But currently it is incomplete, and the basic ability of all phenomena is to create tolerance, to create all things to make up for the vacancy of all phenomena. But he is very confused about what to create. As a gamer, he can't directly create a big world. His current ability is not that exaggerated. After thinking about it, he may only create based on the games he has played in his mind. Games are also forests part of Luo Wangxiang, isn't it? After all, there are many things, rules, power systems, and so on in the game world. If you want to become stronger, you still need to have a huge influence. For example, let more people play the games you create, and when you reach a certain level, you will open a new destiny. Of course, it cannot be Luo Yu's omnipresent destiny, but a game life tailor-made for micro players. The life of the game, as long as you continue to play the game, the more levels you pass, the more game types you pass, the farther you go, the stronger your strength will naturally be, and the star god who created this destiny will naturally benefit from it. The first step is to make a game first. With my current strength, it is difficult to handle a super large game world, so the design of Hakoniwa is good. The area in each activity is absolutely free and the picture quality is extremely realistic. When the door is opened, the game will quickly load a progress bar and load the next area. After much deliberation, meeting the standards and being able to promote your own games in internet cafes, according to local conditions, the suitable games for the Black Tower space station I am currently in are probably as long as they are novel. The people in the space station estimate that most of the spiritual world is still not full enough, and novelty things may reap miraculous effects. According to his familiarity with the game and his strength, Luo Yu plans to make Resident Evil 1. The IP of Resident Evil is definitely loud and full of curiosity and exploration. The atmosphere of the game makes the game playable and the degree of communication is the best choice. It didn't take a lot of energy to create the Resident Evil 1 game, the main reason is that the level design is difficult. And when the design was finished, Luo Yu found that he seemed to be able to create a game. The energy is still very rich. After all, the power system of Resident Evil is not high, so in the world of railways, there is still a need for a real action fighting game, and can win over heart games. Honkai is undoubtedly very suitable, the sustainable development of online games, and Another Devil Will Cry, the current launch is a bit early. Resident Evil consumes very little power, but fortunately it is novel, and Honkai 3 is the basis for long-term guaranteed play of online games, and the power form of Honkai is still good. The local power has also been strengthened to varying degrees under his own blessing. Another point is that the old actors who want to see the collapse of this world, how does it feel to see another world in the collapse of the world? This is a peaceful morning at the Haida space station. The starry sky on the platform is vast, and the blue stars are as blue as the sea. A girl with a lowly body is parading around the Black Tower space station every day. Passers-by will unconsciously take a look at this girl passing by. Even if they can see it many times a day, they will still be attracted by the girl's appearance, that cute face when she is silent, never tire of watching. You guys, can you die? Are you going to end? Are you following idiots? The girl was very rude as soon as she opened her mouth, and she completely lost that cute look. Instead, she put her hands on her hips and looked at garbage. The expression of the insulted person changed. It's broken, could it be that this is Miss Haida of the main consciousness? The following Haida-shan pushed the people away in a rush. She forgot about this kind of daily trivial matter. The people on the star train seem to be arriving soon. The train has been silent for such a long time. There should be someone worthy of research on the train. If it weren't for this, the Black Tower, which is known as a genius, would not have come to realize this reserve warehouse specifically. This Black Tower space station was sponsored by someone else. In addition, there is nothing she is currently interested in on the Black Tower space station. Star Core, that thing has just been researched and preserved, and she has temporarily lost interest. Speaking of which, what about Esta? She has always been responsible and serious in her work, even if she paid for it out of her own pocket. When Haida was puzzled, the rich woman Esther was doing things she could never have dreamed of. Game Master Internet Cafe? What year is this? Could it be that the owner of this shop is in the Renaissance? The young lady who is an expert in high-intensity surfing on the internet has heard of the Internet Cafe, but that is an outdated term from a long time ago. The rent of the space station is not cheap. How could someone apply to open an internet cafe? It's incredible. Esta, who couldn't figure it out, had no choice but to go in and experience it. In addition to her duties as the station master of the space station, she also had a strong curiosity. Open the door and enter. The layout inside is extremely simple. It is the internet cafe and computer machines in the retro mode in memory, and a pair of glasses may be holographic projection, but this is also retro. What surprised Esta even more was what was written on the boss's small blackboard. 1 hour on the plane is 3 stars, each person is on the plane for 6 hours a day, and the business hours are from 8 am to 12 pm. Game Honkai III activate game 8-star zone. Game Resident Evil 1 activate game 3-star zone. No credits are accepted. After reading the words on the small blackboard, Esther was even more surprised. Not only was the boss weird, but he only accepted Xingsheng. The current price of Xingsheng, a rare currency, is basically at a ratio of 1:3000. Cosmic fried rice is only 1500. 1 hour of playing here is 6 meals of Cosmos fried rice, 2 days of meals. There is something wrong with this boss, there is definitely something wrong. Where's the boss? After Esther came to a conclusion, she just wanted to see the shop owner, who on earth had such a magical brain circuit, a business ghost. There are guests, do you want to board the plane? As soon as the words were finished, a swivel chair behind a computer turned, and the two were looking at each other, and each other was taken aback. Luo Yu didn't expect that his first guest would be the rich woman Esta. How rich is Esta? The entire space station was funded by her and the interstellar peace company behind it. I ran out because I was tired of the battle between the rich and powerful, and by the way I was chasing the dream of the starry sky. If I didn't do well, I would inherit the family business. Moreover, this young lady often pays out of her own pocket because the company's funds are too slow, which makes a lot of blackheads, Esta's station master, complain. Is she Fleming's own daughter? What kind of wealth, out-of-pocket private money for public use? And Fleming is the richest interstellar peace center in the universe, serving as the 14,600th lifetime director, one of the richest people in the universe. It shouldn't be surprising that she has many children after living so long, but I don't know if Esta is her own daughter, but she must be rich in important positions. The face of the person in front of him was only 17 or 18 years old, and he was in the prime of his life. He had neutral short hair, exquisite facial features and vivid peach blossom eyes. Esta was taken aback by the sight, except for her appearance, it was her age. He came to the space station to open a store at such a young age. Could it be that he is a rich second-generation son? That's right, that's how he can explain the person in front of him. He is a beautiful boy who is interested in the Renaissance because he has money and nowhere to spend it. Esther came to a conclusion again. It turned out to be the station master. Esta, how come I got my business license? Not yet, because I need to investigate. The price of your store is a bit high-end, but the equipment and entertainment you sell are very low-end. Are you sure you can make money? Station Master Esta is really responsible, why don't you activate it and try it out? After all, seeing is not necessarily believing, you will know after trying. Chapter 2. Luo Yu smiled sweetly. Of course he knows that internet cafe games are very low in the world view of Xingsheng Railway, but now that he has become the 19th Star God Game Master, he has the power to create games, and how can the games created by the Star Gods be ordinary? Seeing how confident you are, I'll give it a try for an hour first. Your game is probably the same as it is behind the machine. By the way, it's worth activating both of those games. The Webmaster Charity supports you. Let's go to a new store. Esther took out 15-star Joan at random, which is the price of 30 meals for ordinary people. The rich woman doesn't care about the money, after all, she is the woman who can buy a Star Destroyer with pocket money. After paying the money and turning it on, seeing that there were only 2 games on the interface, the rich woman was even more speechless. You not only have retro equipment, but you only have 2 games. Esta murmured, but decided to give it a try. Resident Evil 1, the name is quite novel, so let's take a look at this Resident Evil first. It sounds like a doomsday adventure. Those who study the starry sky are very curious, so they open the game and wear virtual glasses. Soon, Esther opened her eyes again and felt that she had entered another world, where the sky was dim and dark, weeds were overgrown in the dark woods, the feeling of the wind blowing on her face and the air that seemed to have a faint smell made her feel Esta, the greenhouse lady in the starry sky, felt physical discomfort. This is different from her experience, probably only in nightmares can she dream of being in such a place. Unlike games where Jill and Chris can be chosen, what Luo Yu creates is self-exploring. And soon, a documentary screen appeared in front of Esta, telling the opening plot. The story happened in the beautiful country of Raccoon City, where the economy was developed and the people's livelihood was stable. False. Until the summer of 1998, there were many reports of attacks in the mountainous area outside Raccoon City. The B team sent by the team went to investigate, but the whereabouts of all members were unknown, so the police station could only send Team A to search for the missing Team B in the middle of the night. The broadcast of the emotionless mechanical female voice, coupled with the dismembered body of the dead man in the old newspaper at dusk in the screen, coupled with the unique atmosphere of Resident Evil, Miss Esta suddenly felt that the whole person was in a bad mood. Yes, the creepy feeling hits my face. Is this a horror game? Esta had a bad premonition in her heart, and at this moment the selection page was opened in front of the screen. They are Chris, G teammate, Jill, and self-exploration. Luo Yu silently observed the choice of this rich woman right behind Esther. Seeing Esther's choice of self-exploration without hesitation, Luo Yu was suddenly happy. Because it is very simple, self-exploration is a knife at the beginning, without even a basic pistol. This is almost the kind of high-playing experience in the game to go beyond the limit of self-preparation, and newcomers are basically in death mode. Esta quickly felt the malice from Luo Yu, and in such a strange world, she was stunned when she saw the 20 cm dagger in her hand. And the plot has already begun. Team A walked a few steps in the dark and gloomy woods after getting off the helicopter at the beginning. When the zombie dog suddenly attacked, the speed was extremely fast, and the teammates didn't realize that their throats had been bitten off to get the lunch. The scene was very brutal at one point, and Esta was terrified when she saw this scene, even if there were teammates around her who were still shooting back. They ran wildly all the way, but the zombie dog was faster and rushed directly to her who was alone and had no pistol. Ah! Esta was so frightened that she quit the game directly, flicked her virtual glasses and patted her heart, closed her eyes, still thinking of the zombie dog's terrifying big mouth that split like a chrysanthemum, and her teammate's face as white as jade. Paler. Luo Yu calmly covered his ears and smiled, as expected. Feeling that there was someone behind her, Esther immediately turned her cute, PD-off face with unkind eyes. Boss, what's the matter with this game? How can I get in with only a small knife, and my own strength is also sealed, and the enemy is so scary? Is this game really for people to play? You have the aura of asking someone to beat you up and by your hands and feet if you don't give me a reasonable explanation. Scared? If you are afraid of horror games, you should experience another game. Honkai III is a positive, healthy, and happy family game. Luo Yu smiled and said, not angry, but his tone was similar to that of a child sitting at the same table as you. But the eldest lady can't listen to this. Humph. This game isn't scary at all. The scary thing is that I don't have a weapon. The fear comes from the lack of firepower. Star Destroyer can be added to this game. It's not scary at all. Luo Yu nodded in agreement. Don't talk so much nonsense, you should at least be able to hold guns in this game. Cough, of course. After Luo Yu explained the role selection, Esther looked at Luo Yu with resentment in her eyes. You are so bad, you didn't remind me when you were behind me just now, just watch me make jokes, right? Station Master Esther can't say that. I believed in your experience, intelligence, as well as the urgent need for a sense of game substitution, etc. Seeing the pretty boy talking nonsense in a serious manner, Esther snorted. I believe you have ghosts. The eldest lady who learned the lesson directly chose the heroine. At least Jill is also a goddess-level heroic figure, and the short-haired military girl has a temperament, which is in line with the aesthetics. However, in fact, the effect of having a gun is not very good. Once again, I witnessed that my teammates encountered a crisis again after being eaten with a broken neck and received a boxed meal. Asda looked at the retro pistol with the novelty of playing with antiques. However, setting sun marksmanship is not advisable, the zombie dog is too fast to hit, the zombie dog still pounces on it, the lady suddenly feels that she is about to send it again when a gunshot is fired, the zombie dog is directly hit by the bullet and falls to the ground. Chris said nothing, said to pull Jill directly and run away. The teammates didn't just watch this time. Chris and Weskier, who was wearing sunglasses at night, protected together, and immediately felt full of security. So this is the normal way for gamers to open it. The shadows of the trees were whirling, and the team members were running in the woods at night, with the sound of running, gunshots, and crazy zombie dogs barking, while the helicopter pilot who saw the situation in the sky seemed to fly away. Everyone shot and ran all the way to the mansion, and there were only a few players left. These mad dogs are too scary, but my Peppa is the cutest. As she said that, Esther felt her heartbeat, and it was still quite exciting. Just now, she fired a shot while taking advantage of the chaos and seemed to have killed one. This monster is actually like that. It's not scary if it has weapons. Luo Yu smiled and said nothing. It was just a cut scene. What gave you confidence? Please support everyone. Chapter 3. Following the plot, Chris, the hero who entered the mansion, disappeared, and a group of people had to disperse and prepare to investigate the secrets of the mansion. In the original game, Jill was led by Uncle Barry, but the two of them would not be scary together, so it was specially modified, and the actions were dispersed soon after the start. Scatter action. Esta looked at the interior of the mansion under the dim light. Although it was exquisite, the pattern was very distorted under the candlelight. It was retro and quiet, with a sense of eeriness in the legendary vampire castle. However, the difficulty of choosing Jill is the lowest. There is Uncle Barry, but for the sake of terror, this uncle is sometimes ineffective. Saying goodbye to Uncle Barry, Esther walked alone in the dark mansion. Her footsteps were very loud and clear, as if she was telling the monsters in the mansion that I was here. This boss game is really sinister. The footsteps are made so loud on purpose. I'm afraid it will attract monsters. I'm afraid it's not surprising that I was attacked. As soon as she finished speaking, Esta quickly turned the corner and met AI, and a rotten face with distorted and hollow eye sockets appeared in front of her eyes. Ah! Bang bang bang! Esta pulled the trigger without hesitation, fired 3 shots, and the zombie fell to the ground after a moment of stiffness. This game is really bad fun, but the monster is just a mortal body, and the speed is still very slow. 3 shots knocked down the zombie that followed the sound. Luo Yu only slightly hooked the corners of his mouth. Just as Esta walked past the zombies, the corpses on the ground suddenly moved. It was too late for Esta, who felt movement behind her, to turn around. The character had already been thrown down by the zombie, and what was even more frightening was that the zombie who was killed behind was getting up little by little. Esta. At first, Esther thought that zombies had 2 stages, until the monster was revived infinitely after a magazine was empty, and after 3 times, the eldest lady took off her glasses and was ready to question the boss about his garbage game design. What's the matter, boss? Why can't this monster be killed? Before she finished speaking, Esta saw Luo Yu's screen, which was Luo Yu's own image, without a pistol, only a defensive dagger, and the berserk zombie sandwiched cheese on both sides, just like the scene she encountered. Humph, this boss is really a big deal. How can you play with only a small knife? Then Esta saw a scene that made her unbelievable. In the game, Luo Yu's character dodges sideways at the right time so that the 2 zombies meet directly, but he just turns his head and stabs the dagger directly into the foreheads of the 2 zombies, and the 2 zombies froze instantly. Facing the 2 zombies with his back, he pulled out the dagger forcefully, blood spurted out, and he calmly put the knife away and continued to move forward. Esther covered her mouth, her eyes were full of surprise and confusion, and there was only one thought in her head: is this person really playing the same game as me? Master Esta, why are you here? Is there something you don't understand? Luo Yu took off his glasses and earphones around his neck, and tilted his head to look at Esta with clear and innocent eyes. No, just to see how your boss plays. Esta was speechless immediately. The little boss was killing zombies with knives. Can she say casually that the weapons she has or not are all dead? She can't lose the majesty of the station master. Luo Yu let out an indifferent shrug, put on headphones and glasses and continued. Esther stood and watched for a while, watching Luo Yu kill the zombies smoothly. She was so relaxed that she was sure it was not a coincidence, and she was pleasantly surprised to find that Luo Yu seemed to get headshots with every blow. Thinking of this man looking back confidently, it seemed that the zombies he killed could not be resurrected. Could this headshot be the secret to preventing resurrection? It should be, otherwise this man won't pursue a headshot for every kill like he has obsessive-compulsive disorder. Thinking of this, she suddenly became excited, and hurried back to her place and couldn't wait to bring the device to enter the game. This time, she was not so nervous when she started again. Aiming at 3 o'clock and hitting the head with a single shot, the zombie fell down in response. After a moment of vigilance, Esta found that it was true that the headshot could not be revived. Sure enough, that little boss is really stingy. He doesn't give any reminders when the customers come, and he will definitely deduct big points for the service of this store in the future. She was thinking angrily, but with this knowledge point, the previous level was much easier, and the difficulty of the zombies dropped linearly, and sometimes she even found a small knife to kill one easily, which gave her a sense of accomplishment. Just when she was having fun, the computer screen went blank. There are 3 minutes left in your boarding time limit. If you want to continue the experience, please go to the front desk to pay. Ah, has it been an hour? Why is it so fast? I didn't kill a few zombies. The little boss is coming, for 3 hours. Esta originally wanted to talk for 5 hours, but she thought that she was still the station master of the Black Tower space station on official business, so it was somewhat useless to spend time fishing in the game. Hey? Didn't you say that the experience is only for 1 hour? Esther recalled that when she first came here, she was not optimistic about this store at all. It seemed that there were shortcomings everywhere, but in the end she still paid for this store. She couldn't help but blush when she saw Luo Yu's the half-smile expression made her angry, and the eldest lady lost her temper. I want you to take care of it. Just do a good job of your self-consciousness as the boss. Can't Miss Ben support you with performance? Okay, my station master Esta, I'll give you extra time. Luo Yu didn't intend to offend the webmaster. After all, the rich woman in the game even planned to buy a star destroyer for herself. Esther herself didn't expect that the 3-hour extra time would still be conservative. This map has a lot of decryption elements, and the design of the map mansion is very complicated. There are many corners in the room, and there are cemeteries, basements, and even game props. The secret room seems to hide the secrets of the mansion. After 6 hours, I didn't experience a tenth of it. Boss, I'll be here for 2 hours. I'm sorry, Master Este, your account has run out of 6 hours of game time today. If you want to play, please ask tomorrow. Hey! Has it been 6 hours, so fast? Esta hurriedly checked the time. She came at 8 o'clock in the morning, and now it's past 2 o'clock noon. I didn't even eat lunch, so I just immersed myself in this game, so I felt a little hungry. At this time, she sniffed lightly at the tip of her nose. What kind of smell? I really want to follow the smell and find that Luo Yu is eating a kind of pasta? Boss, are you, instant noodles? Oh, this is braised beef noodles. It's a specialty of my hometown. If you want to eat it, it's a bowl of 2 xingsheng. Add ham sausage and 1 xingsheng. There's hot water over there to make your own noodles. Chapter 4. Luo Yu didn't speak back. This noodle is created by its own strength, with a high level of energy. The most important thing is to miss the past, and it can also be sold by the way. After all, don't internet cafes have instant noodles and ham sausage? Esta is not a person who is short of money, and she is also hungry. Seeing how delicious your food is, I'll have a portion too, and a handful of the other ham sausage. Soon there was a chirping sound. When she entered the entrance, Esta's eyes suddenly changed. As a young lady, she has eaten a lot of delicacies, but such seemingly ordinary pasta can be so delicious, much better than that made by her own star chef. Your store here is not very good, but there are a lot of good things. By the way, the boss only has 6 hours a day, which is too little. Can't you add 2 hours? I plan to come to visit at night after I finish my work. Oh, that's another price. It will take a while for the VIP membership service to start. When will we wait? If it's about money, everything will be easy to solve. Esther patted her chest, her expression indifferent. Cough, indeed, if you spend more than 800 stars or store 800 stars again, you can become a distinguished member of our store and enjoy 8 hours of gaming experience a day. Oh, that's how it is, 800 is a bit too much. I didn't carry so much with me. I'll go back and get it later. The webmaster will help you promote it when I go back. But you also need to add more games. There are too few games at present. What's the point? There is such a game as Honkai III, it is so expensive, even more expensive than Resident Evil, who in this ordinary family would activate it? Then Station Master Esta didn't feel any changes in her body. Luo Yu looked at Esta meaningfully. Variety. After feeling it carefully, Esta realized that she seemed to have become stronger. And it seems to have opened up a new destiny. This is. Asda felt it more deeply, she had a brand new destiny in her mind, and her ability feedback was not as strong as usual. Fate is the life of the game. This is a hexagonal destiny. From bottom to top, it is to ignite the soul of action, open up the heavens and worlds, understand the life of the game, forge a heart of steel, command thousands of troops, and finally reach the top of the game. And I currently feel that the game life is a little brighter, the progress is 0.1%, and the progress of opening up the heavens and worlds is also a little bit brighter, the progress is 0.1%, but it is these powers at his disposal that make him richer. This power is comparable to his level of walking on the path of harmony for several months, and 6 hours of practice a day is comparable to several months. I dare not even think about it. Feeling this, Esta opened her eyes again and looked at Luo Yu with a different look. Who are you? With this kind of power, your identity is absolutely impossible to be as simple as an internet cafe owner. Esther immediately became vigilant. There is no free lunch in the sky. Paying dozens of stars to play the game for 6 hours is worth a few months of research on destiny. Did I fall into some sugar-coated shell? Luo Yu looked at Miss Esta, who still had some noodle soup at the corner of her mouth but was already looking at her with vigilance, smiled and applauded. Station Master Esther has a good vision. My store is not just about playing games. To be honest, I am actually the 19th Star God Game Star God, the commander personally appointed by the Lord. And the destiny you opened was opened up by the Star God of the game, and because the game Star God has just become a god and needs believers, he entrusts me to open internet cafes on various planets to accept believers who are interested in the game god. Here, as long as you play the game, you can gain the advancement of destiny and become more powerful, so this is the reason why I am sure to open a store and charge such a high price. 7 points are true and 3 points are false. This kind of lie is almost indistinguishable. And by the way, explain to the outside world that he is a great game god, not the god of everything. The concept of everything is too scary, covering all the currently known star gods. I have to develop myself. It is too late when other people really discover their true nature. Way, the world's jungle of the jungle. When Luo Yu explained it this way, Esta thought about it and felt that there was nothing wrong with it. She also put herself in her own shoes and thought about it, which seemed to be the case. Because the game star gods need believers, create games and play games to become stronger and open up new destiny, so what's the matter with higher fees and more rules? It's no problem at all. Maybe if it were me, I would be afraid that Xin Qian would have to add a single digit to the power value that people should get. From this point of view, which game star god is doing charity, and no one thinks about the fate of this kind of star god. Going is simply unreasonable. After she figured it out, Esta immediately put away her cyberpunk magic wand, and her eyes towards Luo Yu gradually softened. So that's it. It turns out that your confidence is here. It all makes sense. I didn't expect you to be valued by game masters at such a young age. It's so young and promising. She patted Luo Yu on the shoulder, and the station master Esther had a look on her face that I liked your young man's continued efforts. You shouldn't look like you. Got it, I'll make up an old man tomorrow, so it will be convincing, right? Cough, there's no need, you're fine as you are now, I quite like it, cough at least you can see it. At the same time, Haida was speechless as he watched the time. Esther didn't say today that she has something to do on leave. Why has it been a long time and she hasn't come back? Could it be that something happened and she was taken away by the rich dad? It shouldn't be. After all, I'm doing things under my name, so I shouldn't be taken away. He still has confidence in his own reputation as a Black Tower. Members of the Genius Club don't support idlers, and there are no mediocre people. And until Alan, the head of the Defense Department, arrived. Station Master Esta? So it's Master Haida, where is Miss Esta? I haven't seen her for a long time today, and many departments can't find anyone for inquiries. Don't worry, I'll look for it. According to the space station monitoring and exclusion method, the location where Esta appeared last time was quickly found. Game Master Internet Cafe? What a retro name, what's new about this kind of old thing? That's not as interesting as the simulated universe I'm developing now, isn't it more interesting to be able to talk to the star god? It didn't come out after staying for a long time. Attract Miss Estana, let's go and have a look. Haida watched the monitoring time gradually change her mind and became interested. There are not many things that can interest her in the Haida space station. Thinking about quickly putting his consciousness into the puppet closest to the target location. It's here. As soon as Haida opened the door, she met Esta, who was about to open the door and leave. Miss Haida, why are you here? Haida didn't speak, but stood on tiptoe and tilted his head to look curiously at the equipment in the store. So you just stayed here for half a day? Is there anything interesting here? There are indeed interesting words. Miss Haida, although this place is very simple, you will definitely be interested. Wait a minute, I will inform Alan to bring Kyung over. The exquisite and beautiful puppet Haida looked at the level on the small blackboard and opened his small mouth. The corners of his mouth curled up, and his expression gradually raised into an interesting expression. It's really interesting. Is this price going to the high-end market? I'm curious about your confidence, little boss. Haida turned around and looked at Luo Yu at the bar, as if he had observed something new and interesting. Seeing such a delicate and beautiful doll girl in front of him, Luo Yu knew her identity clearly in his mind. The great lady of the Black Tower, the human being with the highest IQ on Zanlangxing, only does things that interest him. When he was young, he solved the problem of solitary wave algorithm and the spark model conjecture. When he was young, he discovered the transformation method of sigma baryons. When he was middle-aged, he proposed the Black Tower sequence and published a paper on rejuvenation. When he was old, he rejuvenated the mystery of the phenomenon, capturing the extraterrestrial core and sealing it. He has saved his own planet from the crisis of destruction 19 times, and paid homage to the star god twice. I am afraid that this kind of experience is not a planet or a template for the protagonist in the universe. Sure enough, the Genius Club does not support idlers, or the star god of wisdom Bo Shizun only accepts geniuses. Chapter 5. The characteristics of this store are all written on the blackboard. Miss Haida will know if she is interested in it. Looking at the girl's face, it's so delicate and beautiful, no wonder there is a support group from the association. This cute appearance is indeed very lethal to some lolicons or guys who happen to like loli. Even if the Black Tower itself is old, it's enough for their ancestors. Good. Miss Haida didn't say a word, and when Esta came to pay the money, she also sat down in her seat, and said that she was going to click on Honkai III, but Esta, who was next to her, directly refused. Mr. Haida, I heard from the boss that the game is a fun family game with a sugary, sunny, and positive plot. It doesn't seem to be challenging. Let's take a look at this Resident Evil. I have only explored less than 1/10 of it in 6 hours so far. It's challenging. Oh, so that's the case, let's try it, it shouldn't be bad to let you boast so much. Haida brought the equipment to enter the game, and Esta was still on the side to guide intimately to prevent teacher Haida from encountering the tragedy of the dagger start before him. He also gave Luo Yu a glare as he spoke, as if he saw it in his eyes. This is the correct attitude towards those who have just entered the pit, instead of watching jokes with bad intentions. Luo Yu just smiled awkwardly but politely. After all, mental training is also a part of the trial, and the path of the Game Master is not easy to reach the top. Don't underestimate the gold content of the Game Master created by his omnipotent power. However, the thinking logic of the Black Tower is obviously different from that of Esta. Is the third one actually starting with a knife? That's interesting. If you only need a headshot, you really don't need a pistol. Speaking of directly choosing self-exploration, it seems that she is very confident in her own strength. After all, her life experience is too rich. How can a game be so difficult? Esta was speechless, but she knew that no one could correct what the Black Tower had decided, so she could only watch and hope that Ms. Black Tower would not be embarrassed later. But soon Esta felt relieved, because Ms. Haida seemed to be in a good mood. In the cutscene, she killed a zombie dog with a knife. Do not pour her down. Oh? Is this a new type of mutated monster that is fertile and immortal, or is it created by the inspiration of a different kind that breeds bugs? Turning people into monsters that have lost their minds without wisdom. Listening to Esther's concentrated explanation, and the few words of the plot, and seeing the terrifying faces of these zombies, Ms. Haida gradually became interested. At least she was so weak and helpless to venture into a dangerous place that she knew at a glance. This is the first time. But as expected of Ms. Black Tower. It's not bad, it's a bit difficult, but unfortunately there is no sledgehammer in this game, this weapon is too small. Esta was speechless. Ms. Haida completed her 6-hour level in half an hour. Is this the difference between a genius and a universe-level genius? But, how could you walk by the river without getting your shoes wet? Because of her overconfidence, Ms. Haida was caught off guard by a fright. The Black Tower followed the plot lightly, and the muzzle poked out and opened the door. In the dark room, there seemed to be a figure kneeling on the ground. The figure's head moved as if it was sobbing. Is it a missing team member? I didn't expect to find one so soon. She stepped forward and patted the figure on the shoulder, and was about to speak, but soon her words were stuck in her throat. As if sensing the movement, the figure turned its head gradually, and Haida saw a pale face, pure white eyes, the corner of the mouth was split and blood was blurred, and in its arms was the corpse of a member of Team B with a bloody face. This beauty-looking back scene made the Ms. Haida puppet's expression seem to freeze for a moment. Just imagine that you thought you were looking for team members, but it turned out to be zombies. Ms. Haida didn't know if she was frightened or not. Anyway, she indirectly frightened Miss Esta who was watching. A scream only made Ms. Haida regain her consciousness. Is it that scary? I wasn't scared by the zombies, but I was almost scared by you. Ms. Haida patted her heart, and looked at Esta speechlessly. Although she said so, she was actually taken aback in her heart. This scene of beauty looking back is a classic scene of Resident Evil. I don't know how many people have been frightened, and the main reason is that you have experienced the world for half an hour before blending into the atmosphere. Such a sudden scene plus Luo Yu's deliberate terrorization is indeed scary, even for Lady Dark Tower. This little boss game is not bad, it can make my Gujing Wubo mood turbulent, very good. Ms. Haida praised, and continued to explore the plot, and gradually encountered more and more monsters. Mutated crows, mutated plants will entangle you and strangle you to death when approached, and the hunting of monsters such as venomous wasps with big heads and vipers everywhere makes Haida escape thrillingly again and again, feeling exciting emotions for the first time. Until the appearance of the hunter, Ms. Haida suddenly felt that the difficulty had risen to the point that she felt a little tricky. The hunter's body size reached 1.8 meters, and his speed was extremely fast. When walking, he was in a crawling state. Once he locked on the target, he would suddenly explode and hurt people. And its sharp claws, which are comparable to a scalpel, can easily open a big hole in the human body without any doubt. And what's even more frightening is that it often appears in a small place to make a surprise attack, then corner you and kill you with one blow. Ms. Haida's consciousness came down. It is possible that she is very powerful, but this puppet's ability is really limited or it has never experienced such a test of such a disparity in strength. For example, at the corner of the stairs once, the hunter suddenly fell from the sky, and his claws were as sharp as a scalpel cutting down. Haida reacted quickly and jumped back to dodge and was about to stab the hunter's head. As a result, this guy lay down and attacked the lower body with his claws. Ms. Haida, who was caught off guard, did not expect this guy to react faster than herself. He died instantly on the spot. Haida's expression became serious for the first time. The design of this monster is a bit difficult. This time she learned her lesson and squatted down in advance to headshot from top to bottom. However, the hunter's reaction was still extremely fast, and he directly slapped the Black Tower on the ground with a powerful claw. Haida didn't believe in evil, and continued to test, and prepared to kill the hunter with one move in the corner like a peek, but died repeatedly in a fancy way. Grandma doesn't believe it, can't kill you today. Esther watched in horror. Wow! Was this monster beaten by a human? Why is it so flawless, how can you beat it with such long claws? And after dying more than a dozen times, Haida finally swung his knife faster than the hunter, and successfully stabbed the mandible, but soon Haida's expectant expression froze, because the mandible of the hunter was comparable to crocodile skin, this time it was just a stab at the tip of a knife. And the hunter made another backhand. Black Tower, pawn. Haida. It's over, my mind is broken. Is this game to retaliate against society? Haida's eyes were not friendly, and he turned his head to question the little boss. It was only when she turned her head that she saw that Esther, who had been watching beside her, was bending over and leaning on the back of the little boss's seat, concentrating on Luo Yu's screen. Her skirt could be seen to be gone when she lowered her head slightly. Please support everyone. Chapter 6. The main reason Esta is so focused and doesn't care about her own image is that Luo Yu is controlling the character to hold the dagger in one hand at the moment. What are you looking at? Could it be that the little boss is better at operating than me? Hearing Haida's voice, Esther seemed to have just reacted, but she didn't speak, because Haida herself saw Luo Yu coming to the corridor where she died repeatedly. The little boss is here too, so I don't need to say anything, just to see how you are deflated. Haida crossed his arms and quietly watched Luo Yu's character without speaking, expecting something in his eyes, but this kind of thinking was doomed to fail. When killing a hunter with a knife, you must not be in a hurry, and the mentality, reaction, and timing of standing to avoid counterattacks are also indispensable. The difficulty of my own design is very clear. Although it is a bit difficult, it is actually not as good as Mr. Gouda from the novice village of Soul Games. The main thing is to grasp the timing carefully. If you just think that the game is just mowing the grass, then how can you hone yourself? Woolen cloth? The road to the game master is not easy for everyone to reach the end. Dealing with monsters like hunters is similar to soul-based games, that is, dozens of hundreds of failures to catch every move of the hunter, and then counterattack as quickly as possible. Once you get used to it, you will become proficient. And Luo Yu has been familiar with its attack movements through dozens of battles with the hunter. After drawing out the hunter, the figure retreated, but the knife stabbed forward. This prejudged attack just blocked the hunter's claws, and then used the force unloading technique to directly retreat slowly. Fight it where the fault tolerance rate is extremely low, so even if you have experienced a lot of battles, you may overturn. The Black Tower was already amazed to see Luo Yu easily avoiding the hunter's sneak attack from the sky, and watching Luo Yu leave the stairs step by step, the hunter was watching with interest. Advance by retreat. It seems that I was a little aggressive just now, and I gradually gave myself room to maneuver. Could it really make this little boss kill him? At this time, the hunter seemed to have discovered Luo Yu's goal. Its figure was very low, and the next moment it suddenly shot up like an arrow from the string, but Luo Yu had already understood the moment the hunter bent down. Its figure also suddenly rose, and it jumped sideways and came to the open space. The hunter was caught off guard and the target disappeared, and he slammed into the wall of the corridor, directly hitting a big hole in the wall. But Luo Yu didn't relax, because soon a black shadow rushed again. Luo Yu turned over on the iron bridge and almost passed the hunter, raised the knife in his hand, and slashed at the hunter's lower abdomen with the help of his own speed. A wound more than 10 centimeters deep and more than 1 meter long appeared. It's like being scratched by the hunter himself. When the hunter turned around, he found the almost disemboweled wound on his abdomen. The scene was very 16+, and the forensic doctor was not calm after seeing it. Miss Haida felt fine, but Miss Esta felt a little nauseous. It has to be said that even with this kind of wound, the hunter can still move freely, but the speed is a little slower, and he can't be killed without a headshot, which will only make the hunter stronger. And the hunter's IQ is not particularly exaggerated. The injury made it even more angry, flying around like a toad, and Luo Yu avoided it very silky as if there was a magnetic repulsion between him and it. The two watching onlookers couldn't help nodding secretly. What Miss Esta watched was thrilling. After watching the operation of the Black Tower and Luo Yu, she already felt that she might be the kind of handicapped party. The game understanding is not really good enough to play, but it is true to recognize the reality. As expected, the boss still has 2 brushes, but if you just hide like this, you can't kill this monster. Haida just commented, but she didn't understand Luo Yu's next operation. Luo Yu stood there upright, and the hunter didn't dodge this time, as if he had entered a strange state. Suddenly, at a time when it seemed fast and then slow, he jumped up suddenly, and at the moment when he was about to turn around, the hunter and Luo Yu made eye contact. Take the move. This move is called Flying Thunder God second stage. Thinking in my heart, Luo Yu's body directly crushed the hunter's body to the ground, and the dagger quickly hit the hunter's forehead between the eyebrows, and his head was shot directly, leaving only the handle of the dagger shaking. The head is dead. This operation directly stared at the second daughter. This? Is there still such an operation? Esta didn't expect Luo Yu to kill the hunter in this way. Is this okay too? Haida didn't expect it either, or maybe it was because the game limited his thinking. Well, this game is so free. Characters can make difficult moves, but they need to have such a foundation of consciousness. Luo Yu let out a breath, expending a lot of effort, and shrugged when he heard the exclamation of the 2 women. Boss Luo is really powerful. He actually managed to kill such a strong boss that Miss Haida did not do. Esta's eyes gradually became adoring. Haida. Luo Yu also looked at the black tower. And Ms. Haida just put her hips on her hips and snorted. What are you looking at? I admit that you were stronger just now, but that's because my thinking was limited by the game. Soon you will be waiting to eat ashes behind me. Luo Yu just shook his head helplessly. Really, who told you that the hunter is a boss? This is actually just a mob. A little monster? Is this strength a little monster? Esther was shocked. Her emotions turned out to be so weak. Compared with the hunters, the zombies might not be miscellaneous soldiers. Hey, it's just elite mobs. It's a bit too much to say that hunters are trash. Haida. Esta. I don't believe it, you must be bragging, the boss. How could you possibly know the plot behind it when you got here? Could it be that you made the game? Esther had a little difficulty accepting the fact that she was such a noob, and was going to fight with reason, saying that she would not die until the Yellow River. Luo Yu smiled without saying a word, so he continued to move forward, and soon this time in the narrow corridor, he met two hunters who had paid tolls. Esta. How is it? My boss didn't lie, did he? Esta, suddenly I'm not interested in this game. Maybe the positive and healthy Honkai III is more suitable for me. I'm going to go there to comfort my wounded soul. Esta was successfully persuaded to quit, and was about to enter the pit of Honkai III, which she had dismissed. Only Ms. Haida pursued the challenge and prepared to kill the hunter with her own sword. After all, that little kid can do it, why can't she? Chapter 1 of Moya Codeword at Work, please support everyone. Enter the main plot soon. Chapter 7. Ms. Haida was preparing to fight against the hunter again. At this time she felt that something was wrong with herself or this doll. It seems like this. My puppet and me who are far away from the sky have obtained a new destiny. Let me see, the life of a gamer is divided into 6 major fields. Ignite the soul of action, open up the heavens and myriad worlds, comprehend the life of a gamer, forge a heart of steel, command thousands of troops, and be king of the game. Haida read one by one to think about the meaning. In these fields, the progress of comprehending the game life is 0.3%, casting the heart of steel is 0.1%, and developing the world is 0.3%. Times. Haida felt it carefully. It's incredible that it can make me move forward. This kind of progress is also a surprise for Haida. Haida has come a long way in Zhizi. Even under the envoy of Ba Zhizun, he met the star god twice, and the road to destiny is almost difficult to make progress. Seeing Haida's expression, Esta seemed to react suddenly. Mr. Haida, did you also activate that game life path? Yeah, so it seems that you have activated it too, but the progress is so low, no game no life 0.3, heart of steel 0.1, heavens and myriad worlds 0.3. Esta. It's so tall, and there's a heart of steel, why don't I have one? Are we really playing a game? Realizing that she might have lost her composure, Esta coughed lightly and smiled. Hey, as expected of teacher Haida. Haida seemed to understand something looking at Esther's appearance. It seems that you know a lot, so this small shop is definitely not ordinary. Let me explain in detail. When Haida realized that Esta was also starting a game life, she suddenly thought of this internet cafe as the Game God Internet Cafe. She felt that the name of the shop was not random, and her strong curiosity cheered her up. Esther basically repeated Luo Yu's words. A new star god game master? I didn't expect this little boss to be a star god envoy in my level. Sure enough, he can't be underestimated. This store is getting more and more interesting. Is there any game master? The fate of the game life may also represent the mentality of this star god. It must be a very interesting one. I really want to meet him. My simulated universe it will be more perfect and benefit a lot. Haida took a deep look at the beautiful boy who was concentrating on playing games. He thought he was an internet addict, but he didn't expect that he was concentrating on improving his strength and hiding his secrets. Haida thought about returning to her seat soon, feeling a lot, and her mentality had quietly changed after meeting the hunter who made her die repeatedly more than a dozen times. After learning from Luo Yu's style of play, leading to an open area, the genius's brain quickly memorizes the hunter's attack method and speed. After a fierce battle game, he finally made a headshot with an early attack. Bye. At this moment, Ms. Haida herself felt a little unbelievable, and the progress of the game life was a few tenths and hundreds more points, and her strength was more abundant. I didn't expect it to be really successful. It seems that I am quite talented in the path of the game master. At the same time, Esta has quietly withdrawn from Resident Evil, and this difficulty may still be difficult for her. Just thinking about it, he tilted his head and took a look. Unexpectedly, he saw that Teacher Haida had successfully killed the hunter. Esta quickly reassured herself that she was younger than the two freaks. The hunters in this game are nothing more than that. I have already figured out their rules of action. Just see if I pass the level with my life and have hands. Esta. Mr. Haida, you're saying that I'd better play Honkai III to heal myself. The sad Esther opened the profile picture of the cute white-haired girl, and quickly entered the game, looking forward to the healing game recommended by the boss to baptize her soul. Soon after entering the game, the captain's name is her real name, Esta. As soon as the plot opened, Este was shocked. A burst of emergency voices surrounded her in 3 dimensions, and a short text appeared in front of her eyes. The third Honkai outbreak is 2 years, 5 months, 16 days, 2 hours, 34 minutes, and 22 seconds. At 5:13 p.m., the location was 34 kilometers southeast of Shanghai City. The mature female voice in the headset gave orders in an orderly manner. The Valkyrie prepares for landing. The voice fell, and there was a girl with white hair and twin ponytails in front of her, but her eyes were firm, and she seemed to be a qualified Valkyrie at a young age. It was Kiana in front of her. Kiana opened the goggles and jumped down from the rear hatch of the ship high above the sea of clouds. The starry sky in the sky is very beautiful, but the point is not this. Asda's heart skipped a beat when she saw this scene. Wow! Did this Valkyrie fall down without protection? But Kiana is like this. The light of the setting sun illuminates the sea of clouds, but Kiana cuts through the sea of clouds like a meteor from the sky and falls from the sky, and the emotional BGM sounds. That's right, this is the opening CG of the old version of Bang 3, which is also very good, so it will be released. Classic review. Esta was looking forward to how the girl would land on the ship, but soon the plot changed to the same pre-information, but this time Kiana started from the ground and went to the sky. When Esther was confused, she looked back at another plot and found that the last digit here actually read the initial CG concept is for reference viewing only. Esta. This game master doesn't seem to be a very serious star god, hehe. Scratching her head, Esta continued to watch the new CG, and the plot here fully demonstrated the strength of the Valkyrie. Air warships surround many flying insect-like Honkai beasts, and human fighters are soaring, fighting, and exploding. And these explosions, even if they were very close, just blew her hair very calmly. This Valkyrie seems to be called Kiana, she is really a very confident Valkyrie. Este commented. Then I watched Kiana raise the tail of her own drone with one kick. Esta was a little confused. The mature female voice came from the earphone. That's F-ed up. Soon the plane exploded and destroyed the building. Before Esta could react, her perspective changed. In the guidance stage for newcomers, you can open the third-person perspective or the first-person perspective. Please experience the mission battle of the Valkyrie. This voice sounded in my head, and soon the battle began. Please support everyone. In the future, it will be about 8,000 words a day. After all, the author still has to go to work, and I will take time code words from 9 to 10. If everyone supports me, I can do 10,000 words a day. Chapter 8. Although it has a third-person perspective, it defaults to the first-person mode for the sake of realism. Asda saw that she seemed to be in sync with the Valkyrie Kiana, and she felt a sense of novelty, and the power in her body was also very abundant, especially how much higher than Resident Evil. There was a kind of punch that could blow up her own nightmare mansion feel. With this kind of power, Estad feels confident, and the enemy has become a not-so-scary silicon-based creature, Honkaiman, and a beautiful girl like Dead Soldier. The game mode is similar to synchronization, and the brain is injected with the basic ability usage of field pretending. Active skills, passive skills, normal attacks, branch skills, and nirvana, as well as a very incredible ability to dodge time and space. Wow! Is this ability armor actually only at the level of a B-rank Valkyrie? It's a bit powerful. In the world of Xingqiang Railway, the high-end power is very strong, but the strength of ordinary Destiny walkers is not particularly exaggerated. Esta's own strength may not be strong, but the power she can mobilize is strong, destroying a galaxy in minutes. The extinct monarch under the destroyer star god is the envoy, and the strength of the envoy can mobilize the power of destiny to burn and destroy the galaxy. However, it does not necessarily mean that all envoys are like this, but it can also be seen that the envoy make it powerful. Getting back to the topic, Esta finally has the experience of the game, experienced the difficulty of the harsh conditions of Resident Evil, and the strength of Beng San is so much that the young lady feels very luxurious. It's as if the ancients who have been using flintlock guns have been replaced by Gatling, a word that is cool. Compared with the hunter, the breakthrough level Honkai beast at the beginning is basically stupid. Suddenly, a backflip on the iron bridge suddenly triggered the time stop of the ultimate dodge. Seeing where the Honkai beast stood still, Esta started punching and kicking without hesitation, or Kislina's spear fighting technique. Soon, he gradually became familiar with the branch attack, and the huge cat's claw appeared from the void and smashed down on the head of the Honkai beast, smashing and disintegrating directly. When the energy, which is the SP savings, was almost the same, Esta felt that she seemed to be able to activate the burst mode Nirvana. Nico charge. What's enough milk? I'm not hallucinating. But that's what the character said, and Esta isn't going to get into it, because the Valkyrie burst is activated for the special attack, and all the normal attacks are strengthened, sweeping the dead soldiers so hard that they can't even climb up and completely suppress them. This is also great. It really feels healing and relaxing. I feel much healthier. Leaving the dark mansion and looking at the bright world with blue sky and white clouds, I immediately feel at ease. And the drama is going on. Esther stood firmly on the drone. No matter how difficult the drone made, it just couldn't fall off. Soaring over Shanghai City, high-rise buildings exploded, Honkai beast was killed, and she was one of them, and it feels good to have decent strength. It's just that, maybe because the performance was too eye-catching, the Honkai Emperor directly landed on the drone and started attacking. The high-speed rotating Honkai gear is ready to easily harvest this hateful human being. Isn't it just a little bit bigger? Miss Ben can't be troubled. Even so, it took some time to clear the level without taking any damage, and it took almost 2 bursts of the ultimate skill, Valkyrie, to successfully defeat it. Not bad, such a monster is still a bit challenging, just suitable for me to come more. Pass all the way and land on the Moonlight Throne. Story mode defaults to third-person perspective. A mature beauty with fiery red hair and a proud figure was projected in front of the screen. Kiyuna is reporting the current situation to Major Himeko. From the plot, Esta feels that she seems to have misunderstood Kiyuna's character design. Why do you feel that this white-haired Valkyrie Kiyuna is a little naive or stupid? But this doesn't affect the perception, it's just that I didn't expect the handsome Kiyuna to look like this in private. Then Kiyuna's humming made Esta believe that Kiyuna might not be the traditional heroine. Because of Mei, when she heard Mei's name, Kiyuna's tone and demeanor did not hide her feelings. And Major Himeko also criticized not to be full of Mei, calm down. Ah, the name Mei sounds like a girl, right? Could it be? And soon Mei's projection appeared. After seeing her appearance, Esta suddenly understood, and even felt the temperament of the same kind. The self-cultivation temperament of a big family cannot be concealed. Such a beautiful and temperament seems to be able to do housework, cook delicious food, who would not like a gentle and patient friend? And Kiyuna's character design gradually became clear, the idiot with little knowledge in his brain, Mei also called the idiot Kiyuna. The advantage is that he has a big heart and is unexpectedly very talented in fighting. And it's not ordinary people. How can ordinary people say that as long as there is Mei, they have the power of 100 people? However, such things as beautiful girl stickers are really good. What a beautiful friendship, Kiyuna smiles so sweetly, an enviable friendship. After feeling that this was really a healing game, Esta continued to play it patiently. And because of the leadership of Ms. Haida and Station Master Esta, many people in the space station also came in to have a look curiously. I was about to enter the pit, and after playing the game, I was pleasantly surprised when I found out that I had started my destiny to gain strength. And naturally, the so-called Game Star God's great achievements and great ideals were popularized by science. The story was quickly spread, and most of the space station talents who had the conditions to play came to patronize this store. Almost on the second day, hundreds of customers came to the store, but fortunately, the store is large enough to accommodate them. Soon, the story of Resident Evil and the mysterious power of the Game Master spread around the Black Tower space station. But at the same time, a silent disaster approached quietly. It's really strange, how do you feel that the internal staff of the Black Tower space station has decreased a lot, allowing us to break in so quickly? The mature beauty with purple hair and pink eyes is walking leisurely in the cabin of the Black Tower space station, with elegant steps, long legs and perfect body proportions. And soon another girl's voice came from the ear. According to the access records, the Black Tower hasn't logged in here for more than half a year. The current work here is directed by an acting station master named Esta. In addition, I found some interesting things. It seems that many people in this space station are discussing games? And the game master? Are these also in Elio's script? Kafka asked. It doesn't seem to be. That's fine, the characters that aren't in Elio's script don't matter. Chapter 9. At the same time, with Kafka's intrusion, many black shadow monsters suddenly appeared outside the Black Tower space station. The staff of the Black Tower space station discovered this at the first time, and soon the entire space station sounded alarms. And Esta, who was still playing games in the internet cafe, and the others quickly stood up. The antimatter army is invading. The defense department is ready to fight, and the rest of the staff evacuate and hide. Esta hurriedly got up and commanded the entire space station as quickly as possible. Others in the store also got up in a hurry, and soon the store was gradually empty. Luo Yu felt the movement outside and seemed to think of something. This should be the main storyline. It seems that the Master of Cosmic Batman will be created soon. I just want to go and see it. By the way, I will meet the beautiful Ms. Kafka. After all, it is the game that gives life. Mother. At this time, there is still a group of people who are also very confused, and that is the Star Express group. Wow! Why did the Antimatter Legion invade before we even took a stroll at the Black Tower space station? The cute pink-haired girl had a depressed expression on her face, and she was speechless when she met this kind of person just after the train stopped and got off the train. Let's fight! Dan Hung of the cold-faced little green dragon rushed forward with a blank expression on his face. However, Jitsi and Walter didn't fight for the first time. The current antimatter army is just pawns, and the really important heavyweight opponents haven't appeared yet. But the sheer number of marauder minions is enough to bring chaos to the Black Tower station. As Esta evacuated the people, the antimatter army immediately followed her. The Temperer waved his finger directly, and Esther felt that she was locked, and many marauder pawns shifted their targets for a while and besieged them together. Most of Tongzi's destiny is support, but who said that support can't help herself, and she is not what she used to be. With a new destiny, she is no longer what she used to be. The time of magic is over, now is the time of physics.jpg. This kind of scene also happened all over the space station. Some of the scientific researchers who seemed to be powerless actually fought with the antimatter army. This came as a shock to those who knew them. Isn't this guy the guy who could whimper and hum for a long time after receiving a minor injury the day before yesterday? How come he can fight the monsters of the Antimatter Legion after not seeing him for a few days? And this kind of thing happens all over the space station. While taking advantage of the chaos, Kafka managed to get into the core area of the space station. The only obstacle might be encountering some lifeless antimatter legions, and then easily destroy them. Because the infiltration was too smooth, Kafka felt a little unbelievable. When did the antimatter legion become so weak? Can this kind of miscellaneous fish really be able to hold back the group of Star Dome train? Silver Wolf, don't worry, there is another doomsday beast coming. At the same time, Ms. Haida stood on the observatory of the space station and watched the huge doom beast hovering outside the space station, holding an exaggerated sledgehammer in her hand, and the gears were turning, which seemed to be very delicately made. Originally, she was about to make a move, but she saw a train coming from outside the platform. Did you just arrive? Is it a coincidence or intentional to encounter this kind of thing when I first arrived? But since the people from the star train have come, let them deal with this doomsday beast, hey? Someone is taking advantage of the chaos to approach the star core? Interesting. Haida turned and left. With the help of Silver Wolf, a cosmic hacker genius, Kafka and his team quickly cracked the program and found the star core hidden by strange things. Oh? It should be the guy Silver Wolf who can easily hack into my system and is interested in the star core, and the guy with the sunglasses and the spider coat should be Kafka. It turns out to be the star core hunter. I have already studied that star core. I'm not interested anymore, but I want to see what they can do. Haida watched quietly, not intending to stop it. But at this time, another person came. After Kafka and Silver Wolf entered the room of Star Core, they accidentally discovered that there was another person here, a young and beautiful boy. This scene immediately made Kafka's two daughters vigilant. Silver Wolf, this time doesn't seem to be included in Elliot's prophecy, does it? Indeed, we chose the safest future, so this person should be a variable beyond the prophecy. Kafka has always believed in Elliot's prophecy, but this accident is the first time, so it surprised the second daughter. It was obviously a boring and ordinary task, but it was surprising to encounter such a thing. Your Excellency. When Kafka asked with a smile on her face, she quietly clenched the handle of the knife. Don't worry about me, you go on, I'm just a passing spectator. To show his sincerity, Luo Yu sat aside and opened the way to the star core. Please. What is this guy doing? Not only did Kafka not understand why, but the Black Tower, who was observing secretly, could not quite understand what Luo Yu was doing. After observing Luo Yu carefully for a while, Silver Wolf nodded to Kafka, indicating that there is no obstacle, and the space where he can leave immediately is not hindered by anything. Kafka just nodded and walked straight to the star core. In fact, her whole body was still vigilant and secretly observing Luo Yu's every move. Even Luo Yu's movement of raising his hands to fold his arms around his chest made the air stagnate. Luo Yu felt a little impatient waiting, so he continued to speak. Relax, continue to implement your plan, I will not interfere. Your Excellency knows our plan? Could it be that the Black Tower already knows we're coming? I've said it all, a passing internet cafe owner is nothing more than an envoy, but I don't conflict with your goals. I just play games. Besides, I haven't restricted your means of escape. If I really want to stop you, and you can't come here. Also, Ms. Haida, you should show up and stop observing in secret. UBD. The sound of the Black Tower made Kafka realize that she and others had been exposed. How could that be? Elio's prophecies have never been so off-script. Now that you know the plan, it doesn't matter, let's start. Kafka took a deep breath, took out the star core, and Silver Wolf was also choosing a suitable body. Excuse me, I think Xing's carrier is good, and she will definitely be very popular in the future. Luo Yu raised his opinion for the first time, and immediately attracted 3 women to watch. Chapter 10. Don't look at me like that. Haven't you heard of a pure and beautiful star god? Appearance is also very important. I think a star girl has the potential to be a queen of 10,000 females. She kills men and women. Luo Yu's words may be a fallacy of personal opinion, but Kafka and Silver Wolf were also influenced to think that it seemed okay. Then the carrier soon materialized. Luo Yu saw this technology and called it amazing. It felt like 3D 1-key printing his wife. Just install a star core and a new wife was born. Haida was surprised that he had researched for a long time to build a space station for this star core, but the star core hunter can return to the original and use this body to store the star core. This kind of black technology is a big secret. Time to wake up. The star core was stuffed into Xingmei's body, and soon, under the expectant eyes of everyone, this body seemed to be conscious. In the following plot, Luo Yu knows very well that Xingmei's body must be seriously problematic. How could it be possible that after absorbing the star core, Kafka asked her how much she remembered? Silver Wolf said at least she still remembers you. There is a guess that the star core hunter is related to the last king, and the destroyer star god seems to be the final differentiation, and the relationship between the protagonist and Kafka must be a comrade in arms or a very important person. It is not impossible for the king to divide the destruction star core. And what Elliot predicted through Kafka's mouth is that the protagonist who has fused the star core will encounter many dangers in the future and be in a terrible predicament, but he will also encounter many friends who are like family members and start dreaming unexpected adventures, and at the end of the journey, all puzzles will be solved, so you don't have to worry about where you came from, what identity you were before, and so on. Obviously there is definitely something wrong here. Generally speaking, the origin of the protagonist is definitely not simple, at least it is an important figure of the star god or the fallen star god faction. After Kafka finished all this, she looked at Luo Yu. Before I leave, I hope you will not interfere with her future. She has a more important mission and a new future. Don't worry, after all, he is the person I appointed, and I may help him. I have no malice towards you or anyone who doesn't provoke me. After all, I am just a gamer. Games? It can make you so addicted. If you have the chance, you will definitely visit it. I'm not suitable for it now. Silver Wolf may be interested. I am indeed interested. You should be the source of the so-called Game Master and Resident Evil that many people in the space station have been discussing recently, and it was in the last 2 days. Speaking of this, Silver Wolf feels that it is possible that Luo Yu appeared recently and failed to make Elio's prophecy succeed. It turns out that my small shop is already famous and discussed. I just found out about this. Interesting, then see you next time, the people from the star train are coming. The two left, leaving only Haida and Luo Yu staring at each other. Boss, you really just play games and come here to join in the fun. Did you kill the python shark easily or did you score a high score in the Honkai game battlefield? Just come out to get some air, and take a look at the Star Core Hunter's demeanor by the way. Why are you satisfied? Do you think Kafka is beautiful? I just saw you staring at that woman's legs. Luo Yu felt like he was choking. Hey, you've discovered this, but everyone has a love for beauty. Looking at beautiful things is eye-catching. For example, I just want to see how beautiful the former pure star god can have so many followers in the universe. Is simply a cosmic idol. Tisk, you are so honest, but I am not surprised. I have seen through your essence since you interrupted to let Kafka choose a female body to receive the star core. Yet, I like beautiful things, so if Ms. Haida can give me a few dolls to watch at my house, I promise I won't do anything strange. I never thought about penetrating the woods. You really push your feet, don't even think about it, goodbye. Haida finally felt that he couldn't continue the chat, and turned to leave. If he was not still interested in this guy, he would have swung around and hit him with a hammer. After the Black Tower left, Luo Yu was also about to leave, but at this moment, the sound of chaotic footsteps gradually approached. Soon Luo Yu saw the two familiar people, Dan Heng March 7. Luo Yu didn't know what to say and was about to leave, but Sanyuki and the others didn't think so. Once entering this secret space, there is a young beautiful boy, and in the corner is an equally young, tall, and plainly dressed beautiful girl, and this beautiful girl is still in a coma. It is hard not to remind people of something. Wait, who are you? What's going on with that person? You shouldn't have done anything shameful. The questioning on March 7 made Luo Yu full of question marks. This. Luo Yu didn't know how to answer for a while, so he couldn't tell the truth, and the excuse now seemed to be that March Chi regarded himself as the kind of wretched beautiful girl. Under the gradual scrutiny of March 7, Luo Yu's brain quickly thought of an excuse. You've played too much. It's so chaotic outside. I rescued her to this hidden and safe place. It's just that I'm not a doctor and I don't know how to treat her. You just came. San Yuqi glanced at Luo Yu suspiciously, but seeing that his clothes were intact and his eyes were clear, it didn't seem like he was lying. Forget it, saving people is the most important thing. When she wakes up, everything will be clear. And Dan Heng checks. The patient did not suffer any trauma, it seemed to be caused internally, his heartbeat and pulse were very weak, and he was about to undergo artificial respiration in March. Artificial respiration? I don't have much experience. Either, or let that guy come, at least if what that guy said is true, the lifesaver won't be disliked for doing artificial respiration. Alright, come on. Being watched by the two, Luo Yu pointed to himself. Of course, hurry up, you just did something bad with a guilty conscience. Well, if you don't give artificial respiration to a beauty, you will be rejected by another beauty. Is there such a good thing? Luo Yu still bowed his head after thinking about it, and only hoped that Kafka would know and stop chasing and killing him. It might be that the shadows covered the light. Xingmei struggled to open her eyes, and saw a beautiful boy who had lowered his head and kissed him without knowing what was going on. At the moment when he felt the cold, Luo Yu only felt his face being pushed away. Stop! Shut up! Wake up! Although Xingmei was kissed, she was still rather confused, her eyes were dull as she covered her forehead. Chapter 11. After waking up, as in the plot, March 7 simply asked about Xingmei's situation to make sure that she hadn't forgotten about her business after she regained her senses. By the way, do you know this guy? Luo Yu, who was pointed at, smiled awkwardly but politely. At this time, the benefit of being there to witness the birth of the star girl came. It seems. I have an impression. Xingmei was still a little confused. So did he do anything to you? It doesn't seem to be. It's just that I have no impression after seeing it from a distance. After some questioning, it was determined that it was an oolong. After looking at Luo Yu on March 7, she felt a little embarrassed and guilty. That. I didn't expect that. I misunderstood you. I'm sorry, we were the ones who made the mistake. That doesn't matter. If you're really guilty, you can just visit my shop when the crisis is over. Oh, definitely. March 7 readily agreed. Luo Yu shook his head, not intending to interfere with Xingmei's normal plot, but someone still didn't let him go. Wait first, I will follow you wherever you are going. It may be because Luo Yu and Kafka were together at the time, Xingmei seems to have a higher initial affection for Luo Yu, and she trusts Luo Yu more than March 7th. This. Luo Yu didn't know what to say for a while, and he promised Kafka not to interfere too much, but he felt that God was playing with him, and he definitely had a problem with Kafka doing this. Luo Yu thought about the general plot of the follow-up. All right. At this time, the space station suddenly vibrated, and this vibration was definitely not caused by some unknown person. Without further ado, let's solve the crisis of the space station first. What about me? I should be able to help too. Xingmei took the initiative to ask. Here, take this with you, a self-defense weapon. Luo Yu finally found the bat after looking in the odd object storage room of the Black Tower for a while. The material of this bat is unknown, but its conductivity and hardness are beyond doubt. In addition, Guangzhou also brought it, the main product of Liu Guangyiding, as the crystallization of people's lifelong memories of combat experience and knowledge. The magic of Guangzhou is beyond doubt, even a small doll will become a little monster. Hey? Ms. Black Tower won't get mad when she takes away such a precious thing, won't she beat us up? March 7th is a little scared, the preciousness of the light cone is well known, and if you bring it, you will basically get the inheritance of the person who remembers the light cone. It should be fine. The big deal is to return it to him. Now we are going to save the space station. The three Luo Yu were given to March 7, Dan Heng and Xingmei. Here, don't you need it? It feels like you don't have any strength on your body, and you don't have any weak weapons in your hands. March 7th was a little embarrassed to ask. No, I still have some self-preservation power, that's all I've said, take action. Luo Yu was forced to join the plot, but since he is a member of the space station, it's okay to put in some effort, otherwise he not only didn't make a move, but also took Ms. Guangjui Haida, let alone a doll, let alone give it to him. At this time, Esther had a clear mind and quickly evacuated the people in an orderly manner. The projected radar tracking is normal, and the frequency of the telemetry signal is high, which must be maintained at an average level. According to predictions, the Legion is about to carry out more than 10 waves of attacks. Please hold on. She happened to have experienced the current situation in the Honkai III game. Tens of thousands of advanced Honkai beasts attacked, and the teams in front of her took action one by one, and they were quickly defeated by her. For the first time, the crew members of the space station felt the majesty and ability of Station Master Esta. I didn't expect the Station Master, Esta, to be so capable. I'm really blind to suspect that the Station Master will enrich himself and embezzle. Yet, once the crisis is resolved, I will definitely quit the Station Master's Black Fan group when I go back. For the first time, Esther felt that she was so important and needed, and she was quite satisfied, feeling that the majesty she had lost had returned. Esther Station Master, we are here to help you. It's the train and everyone, as well as Boss Luo, that's great. With your help, these miscellaneous soldiers will not be a threat at all. Boss Luo, it seems that you are quite busy and famous. The Station Master trusts you very much. March 7th has a keen sense, maybe there is something special about Boss Luo that makes Esta appreciate him so much. These miscellaneous soldiers are not important, the one outside is the biggest threat this time. Luo Yu looked up at the huge creature flying past the space station. So big? Is it the vanguard of the Antimatter Legion? If this is dangerous, that guy has the destructive power of destroying stars. Roughly the same. Luo Yu glanced at Xingmei, who was still a little confused. It was obvious that Doomsday Beast was targeting Xingmei or the star core in his body. He would definitely meet Doom's Beast with her, but this was what he wanted, and the space station was innocent. Everyone on the train, you should leave. At present, it is only the vanguard. Maybe the envoys will come soon, and you will not be able to leave. Esta doesn't want to implicate the people on the train with what happened here. Well, I'll take them away. Luo Yu followed the plot, and the decisive battle location had to be in an open area, but Luo Yu's eyes were even more different when he didn't know about March 7th. Sorry, we don't seem to be able to help you anymore. Yes, you should be the most innocent, just said. Suddenly, the void flashed ahead, and a huge void trampler blocked the path of a group of people. March 7th, he's a big guy, but don't be afraid, the four of us beat him one. Luo Yu. Luo Yu didn't make a move, and the trio of trampler protagonists can solve it. And when the trampler was about to bottom out, the sudden roar seemed to be a signal, and dozens of monsters surrounded the four of them. March 7th, if you can't fight, you can't play with gang fights, can you? And Boss Luo, why are you just watching? Luo Yu shrugged, thinking that the situation at hand might be worth taking action by himself, but someone was faster. A remote-controlled mechanical rapid-flying surprise opened a passage, and the four left quickly after seeing this. And in the next cabin, where the beautiful woman with fiery red hair and elegant figure is operating the screen, it seems that she just turned around and looked at the four of them. Every time it's so thrilling, but it's good to come back, and who are these two? Luo Yu, it's just the owner of a store on the space station. Seeing Jitsi, Luo Yu is still very excited, but it is not appropriate to talk too much at this time, and there will be plenty of time in the future. What about this one? Gzi looked at Luo Yu and nodded to seeing. However, March 7th was very enthusiastic to answer. Her name is Seele, and she is quite capable. She also helped a lot along the way, much better than someone just watching. As San Yu Qi spoke, she also took a look at Luo Yu. Luo Yu just shrugged helplessly. Gzi took care of her too promptly. What could he do? Chapter 12. I see. Gzi took another look at Xingmei and raised his chin. No wonder, this breath is interesting. Jitsi seemed to feel the extraordinary aura from Xingmei, and immediately became interested in Xingmei. And March 7th also reported to Gzi about the situation outside. This is the Black Tower space station. The extinct monarch will not attack here. The Doomsday Beast should be the main force of this operation. Fortunately, we can handle the star weapons. Gzi just explained, and said that CAO arrived, and suddenly the protective barrier of the space station suffered a strong invasion loss, and the huge claws pierced through the shield and bombarded the cabin where Gzi was located. Everyone be careful. The damage caused by the huge claws directly caused the entire cabin to tremble violently, and the special metal indoor roof was already dented. Doomsday Beast, why are you staring at us? Sanyuki was frightened when she saw the huge monster above her head. The comparison between the two sides was like a toy in the hands of a monster. If Jitsi was still skeptical after hearing this, now she is almost certain that looking at Xingmei, the Doomsday Beast should be coming for her. It's not safe here, let's leave as soon as possible, mainly because we can't use it here. Esther watched the series of warning prompts. Looking at the place being attacked, I am still a little confused. I don't know why the Doomsday Beast chose the support cabin to attack. If it is only destroyed, then the main control cabin is the one. No, it seems to be very close to the star train on the platform. Could it be that the members of the train have been attacked? I have to say that Esther guessed right. Both Gzi and Luo Yu understood the real situation, so they took Xingmei directly to the platform, where the space is open to launch an attack, and it will not affect most people in the space station. The Black Tower observed silently in the dark. That kid seems to be the root of all evil, and the Doomsday Beast has been following her, so I can see how long it takes you to solve it. As expected, the Doomsday Beast followed closely until the platform where there were almost no protective measures, and the Doomsday Beast finally couldn't bear to cull it at close range. Ready to fight. As soon as Jitsi opened his mouth, the Doomsday Beast flew over at low altitude. In this case, Jitsi's big killer railgun could not be used immediately, and everyone had to dodge, but the Doomsday Beast was so huge that it was almost impossible to hide, but one person was very brave. When it seems fast and slow for a moment, limit dodge. For a moment, time and space seemed to be forbidden. At this moment, except for Luo Yu, everyone else was in a time-suspended state, but their consciousness was still there. So on March 7th, Dan and Jitsi saw that Luo Yu's figure quickly led them to avoid the inevitable blow. During the period, hugging and hugging were inevitable, but saving people was the most important thing, and it was urgent. If Esther was there, she would have immediately recognized that this was the effect of time and space rupture, an ability unique to the Valkyrie armor. However, Haida had heard Esther say it, but was surprised just because it was so clear. Isn't that time-space fracture an ability in the game, but can it be used in reality? It seems that I underestimated the game and the boss. I'll try Honkai-san after today's work is over. And everyone on the train was similar, he seemed to know him for the first time, so after the 3 seconds of extreme dodge ended, everyone looked at him as if they were seeing Luo Yu for the first time. Of course, the time-space break in 3 seconds is still far from his limit, but in less than 3 seconds, it has been done and everyone has been rescued. And Doom Beast swooped back after Yan returned, only to see everyone unscathed, which made Doom Beast a little confused and very surprised that its attacks seemed to have no lethality, and none of them were reimbursed, which made it extremely angry. You shouldn't look like you, Boss Luo, I didn't expect you to have such a hand. March 7th, who almost escaped from death, looked at Luo Yu for the first time and thanked him. It's easy to do, and by the way, in order for you to have the strength to match this guy, I will support you. Ah! Before March 7th and the others could react, virtual and beautiful figures appeared one by one. Then they entered the bodies of several people one by one, and GZI accepted the power without any resistance. It feels like my back is icy and cold, as if something is added. March 7 felt carefully that it seemed that the power of a lady named Scott who had turned into a stigmata had merged into its body. It can help her to greatly increase the damage of freezing elements, the damage of charged attacks is stronger, and increase her physical strength, which can restore physical strength in battle. The Star Girl is the origin set of Teresa, which can increase the damage of all teammates, normal attack, physical attack, etc., and the frontal damage of all teammates is reduced by 20%. Jitsi is the Summer Beach set, which is on Kiana Beach, in Delisa Beach, and under Jitsi Beach. This suit is to increase attack speed, long-range elemental physical double attack and crit rate, and improve one's own physical strength. It is very suitable for Jitsi of the railgun. As for Danhan, it is the Galileo suit, which increases the critical hit rate and critical damage superposition of single body and floating creatures. It will be stronger every round, and the physical damage received will be weakened by nearly half. As soon as these sets of stigmata power came out, they were all shocked. This? There is such a miraculous thing. I feel that I have been strengthened a lot. There seems to be inexhaustible strength in my whole body. I can beat 10 of my previous self. And Jitsi might be the one who was the most shocked, because one of these avatars seemed to be exactly the same as her and gave her strength, and this stigmata seemed to be tailor-made for her. Immediately, more questions filled GZ's mind, but now was not the time to ask, so he could only temporarily put it aside in his mind, and looked at the Doomsday Beast. You have been strengthened, hurry up. Luo Yu still doesn't plan to do it himself, all he needs is the Honkai stigmata that he has recently upgraded his personality. The success is even more terrifying, even Luo Yu himself is not willing to upgrade a few, it really consumes too much energy and concentration. Don't worry, Boss Luo, we won't let you down after providing so many good things. With the help of Luo Yu, the difficulty of the protagonist's group fight against Doom Beast has changed from difficult to easy mode. And GZI was already locking on the target and waiting for the opportunity to kill him with one blow. The strengthened 3 were enough to give Jitsi time to activate the railgun. Taste the power of this girl. On March 7th, the condensed bow and arrow were launched, and only the first round broke an important joint of the Doomsday Beast's hand. Not to be outdone, Dan Hung attacked another weak point, the hand joint, which was almost scrapped. Star Girl Galaxy Batman almost smashed the antimatter engine with a stick, and the stick swept a large area. 3 rounds directly beat the Doomsday Beast into a weak state. Chapter 13. Haida felt unbelievable again, what was the phantom figure beside that guy just now? But no matter what it is, those things enter the people of the Star Train, and then their strength increases dramatically. And it has been strengthened so much, the extremely precious light cone is nothing more than that. This boss has another thing that I am interested in. That kind of power must find a way to get some research from him. If it satisfies me and this guy promises not to do anything outrageous, it's not impossible for the puppet to give him one. Think so. Ms. Haida has only heard about some Benson settings from Esta, but she hasn't touched them herself. At this moment, Esta is also watching here, and understands immediately. This is the power of the stigmata, and it's not an ordinary stigmata. It's definitely at the level of 4 stars. Can the power of the stigmata be used in reality? So the boss must have a stigmata. I must find a way to create one. Money is not a problem. While Luo Yu was still watching from behind, the Doomsday Beast was almost on the verge of rushing to the street. And as Jitsi's railgun was finished, Tianhui locked onto the target and fired at a single output. The Doomsday Beast, which had just been knocked out of its weak state, suddenly suffered this blow, and its body was almost damaged suddenly, but its tyrannical body was not completely shattered. And very suddenly, the sphere above the head burst out with a terrifying beam of destruction, like a Jedi counterattack after death. The target just happened to hit March 7th. Before March 7 could react, a figure reacted faster than her, and Xing Mei immediately resisted the blow in front of March 7. The terrifying destructive ability hit the star core in her body, and the two seemed to have some special reaction, and the star core riot in her body seemed to be uncontrollable. Like a black hole. When Luo Yu raised his hand, the terrifying oppression of the black hole instantly absorbed and suppressed the restless power that destroyed the star core. Walter Yang, who was just about to make a move in the dark, looked bewildered and surprised. This is a pseudo-black hole, such a familiar power, does that young man also have this power? When Walter Yang fell into deep contemplation, Luo Yu had already flew forward to catch the fainted Xingmei, but she woke up soon, maybe because of the blessing of the stigmata, the reason was not a big problem. Xingmei smiled when she saw that it was Luo Yu who saved her. I think in my heart that my feelings are still accurate, and people who are with Kafka will not let me down. And Luo Yu still feels a little helpless. Why does he feel that he has raised a daughter? This is definitely the way he looks at him. If it is a joke, then Kafka is the biological mother, Jitsi is the adoptive mother, and he seems to be the adoptive father at present? Get rid of these weird thoughts. The doomsday beast is resolved, the crisis of the space station is almost over, and the rest of the follow-up work is the matter of the space station. For example, the staff who were frightened in this crisis may be in a bad state of mind. They came here because of Ms. Haida, but they didn't expect to encounter a crisis, and some of them were already suspicious of life. For example, Abraham, who played a lot of plays, is not an actor. Winning a big victory to resolve the crisis, the lively March 7 immediately pulled Xingmei away from Luo Yu. How are you all right? It was so dangerous just now and you blocked me in the first place. I really don't know how to thank you. I didn't expect that the first time I met you, you were so weak and you needed someone to take care of you, but when you picked up a baseball, you became alive and well. I will take you to play together later. Xingmei was a little overwhelmed by March 7's enthusiasm, but she still looked at that person subconsciously, but she only saw Luo Yu smiling at her indifferently and waving her hands before disappearing. Yang, you're here too, but you seem to be a bit late. Himeko said this while watching Walter appearing from the void. Yes, by the way, what about the young man who also uses the black hole ability? Isn't she? When Gzi turned his head, he found that the figure of the man had disappeared without a sound. He is really a mysterious person. We have to rest at the Black Tower space station for a while. I just want to visit him. I heard that he is the manager of the shop. It seems that he is not an ordinary shop. As Jitsi said, she felt that the power of the stigmata on her body was gradually disappearing. Jitsi was not surprised at this point. After all, such a powerful power might be very precious to Luo Yu. But soon Jitsi accidentally discovered that there seemed to be a stigmata left, which was Jitsi Beach. It seems that there is a reason to go now. Gzi thought to herself, the increase in her favor towards Luo Yu was a kind of express. Do you want to know what's going on? Come on if you want to know. As for the others, Luo Yu took back all of them. After all, these stigmata can't be sent out casually, so how can the protagonist group take risks if they are too strong? Back in the store, Luo Yu unexpectedly found that a group of people surrounded the door of his store. Ah, this! Oh, it's the store manager. Everyone, let the store manager go in first. A familiar voice came from the crowd. It turned out to be Miss Esta. Ah, didn't you come here just after the crisis of the space station was resolved? Luo Yu was a little confused. Why did this group of people finish the follow-up work? Everyone's mental state is good, mainly because everyone heard that boss, you can start your life and improve your strength, so you came here. Of course, in fact, I almost heard that playing games can become stronger, and the wonderful performance of my friends in this case suddenly shocked many wealthy staff. Is there such a good thing in this world? And when I came, I found that Ms. Haida and the station master Esta were also there, which further confirmed that statement, so this is the current scene. As soon as the door opened, a group of people poured in. A group of people were a little impatient in queuing up to pay. There are so many rich people who can't stop the space station. So I started queuing up, and the internet cafe was very lively for a while. This scene made Luo Yu suddenly return to that world in middle school. At that time, there were people waiting behind the machines in almost every internet cafe. Everyone was excited, and the novelty of touching new things filled the whole body. It's much more interesting than boring learning. For this kind of interest, I went over the wall to skip classes all night, took a nap at noon, and even took sick leave to play for a day, and then I was found out that my parents' mixed doubles was another price. Chapter 14. Luo Yu didn't play games, but just watched quietly at the bar. Esta couldn't wait to start the game. Although the space station crisis caused some losses, she also felt the benefits of her own strength. Having money at home is a family matter, and the ability you can control is your own. Others may be polite on the surface and secretly don't know how to arrange you. For example, I met my black fans in Ms. Haida's single push group before. There are also stigmata, by the way. Ask the boss how to get the stigmata. But someone was faster than Este. When Haida came to the bar, she was about the same height as the bar, and she was full of curiosity that couldn't be resolved. Little boss, what did you give to those people on the Xingsheng train on the platform? The increase is actually stronger than the light cone I got from Liu Guang Yiting. Even if GZI doesn't make a move, I feel that those 3 little guys are enough to kill the Doomsday Beast. That's it. I didn't expect Ms. Haida to pay so much attention to me. It seems that If it's useless, your doll is gone. Luo Yu was interrupted from casting spells, but he didn't complain and coughed lightly. That's the power of the stigmata, which is similar to the existence of light cones, except that one is memory inheritance, and the other is genetic changes, both of which can increase combat experience and enhance the strength displayed, as well as various functions. It's in the Bad 3 game. If you're interested, Ms. Haida can try it first. Early access? Is it an in-game experience? That's how it is at the moment. Then can it be used in reality like you, and even show research like Guangzhou? This is also possible, but the premise is that you have to draw and use the habit in the game. So that's the case, then I have to try. That's about it, that Ms. Haida, you promised my puppet. Luo Yu looked on expectantly. Oh, that, I meant to give you the doll, but I didn't say I'll give it to you now. Luo Yu. Don't worry, I will give it to you after I get the finished stigmata. Luo Yu. That's over, I guess I will have to wait for a long time. Because it is currently the initial version, not only the rewards for the stigmata are ordinary, but the pool is not necessarily a purple stigmata in 10 consecutive draws, but a blue stigmata. And the crystal inside is even more difficult. One is Krypton Gold, and 648 is the real 648 stars, which is almost 2 million credits in conversion. But this is a small problem for rich women, but it is almost a year's income for ordinary people. So it is better to fight the battlefield, the abyss, and advance the plot to obtain. As for the battlefield and the abyss, if you don't have a good stigmata difficulty, you will almost take the lead and go to jail crazily. After all, the purple 5-star stigmata are not so easy to get, and they cost me a lot of strength anyway. The power spent by the first generation of 5-star stigmata is close to that of an envoy, while the second generation of 5-star stigmata is comparable to making an ordinary envoy level combat power. And the 4-star stigmata are almost all Doomsday Beast level, and most people will not have any side effects when wearing them. After all, they have upgraded their status, and the main energy source is not Honkai but the driving force. Generally speaking, if he can really get the stigmata by strength, then his combat talent is worthy of this 5-star stigmata, then the stronger the strength, the farther the feedback, the more strength. If it depends on financial resources, then it can only be said that you are a Kryptonian Xingsheng. Let Luo Yu transform it and almost make one. If it is a Huang, then there is nothing to say, but such a person is rare. Generally speaking, you may make money, but I will never lose money. After Esther understood how to obtain the stigmata, she started to play more seriously, and quickly passed the first level of the plot, and then the battlefield, the abyss, the Valkyrie, and the supply system were all unlocked. This is the supply system the boss mentioned. Esther rubbed her hands a little excitedly, her eyes sparkled as she watched Li Hui on the screen. Precise supply, time-limited card pool, and permanent 3 types. There are 3 types of characters, weapons, and stigmata. And you can also check the attributes of the weapons stigmata one by one. If you are a character, you can try it out. It's just a sandbag to experience the character's fighting style. As for Esta, who is of the fire element, she fell in love with the set of stigmata limited to Kachi Danzu at first sight. The attack ignites the enemy and explodes, causing high fire damage to nearby ignited enemies, and the more attacks, the stronger the power. This stigmata is simply too powerful. If I get it, it will be a small problem to hit 10 tramplers from the Anti-Material Legion. The Doomsday Beast can also fight hard when it comes, and has the power to protect itself. Speaking of which, the eldest lady was just about to draw 10 times in a row, but only found out that she needed 2,800 crystals, and she only had more than 300 crystals to clear the first level, at most one single draw. Your crystals are not enough to buy. Soon this prompt appeared on the screen. Purchase, it's a trivial matter that can use money. The page turned to the crystal shopping interface. 30 stars are equal to 300 crystals, 648 stars are equal to 6,480 crystals, and there is no initial double. Even Miss Esta scratched her head at this price. Wow! It's kind of expensive. And the Black Tower was soon discovered. Little boss, you are too dark, 648 Xingsheng only has 20 draws, and the 5-star stigmata is guaranteed to be 50 draws. There is also a 50 draw guarantee for weapons, and a 100 draw guarantee for Valkyrie S class. Facing the Black Tower questioning Luo Yu calmly. Miss Haida, you have to understand that there is a price for everything. The 5-star stigmata are all made by the star god himself. Not everyone can get it casually, but if you are lucky enough to get it in advance, it means that you are someone who is favored by the star god. In the future, absolutely bright future. Besides, don't you still have a monthly card? 30 star Kyang for a month, log into 60 crystals every day, get 500 crystals once in half a month, and get 2,800 crystals a month, plus buy Lide 300, that's 3,100 crystals. Luo boss, I'm sorry, okay. Do the math, 2 months is 6,200 water, plus the plot of the Abyss battlefield. 2 months or even 3 months can definitely get the powerful 5-star stigmata made by Lord Star God himself. This is because you have made money. As for 648, it was only open to consider the urgent needs of those wealthy customers. After all, buy early to enjoy early, and buy late to get discounts. What you pay is time, but what I lose is money. This reasoning silenced Ms. Haida's words. Indeed, the value of the 5-star stigmata is too high. If a player can obtain the strength of the Doomsday Beast in 3 months, it is indeed a bit exaggerated. I even think the price is low. Ms. Haida thought for a moment and felt that what Luo Yu said was completely fine, and even imagined that this requirement was too low. It would be a big pie to get the strength of destroying stars by spending a few months and internet fees. Chapter 15. After listening to what Luo Yu and Haida said, Esta felt that it seemed to be the case, and she didn't feel anything. She came to the bar and directly recharged a 648 without blinking an eye, and couldn't wait to go back and start drawing. Try a single shot first. Excitedly rubbing hands, testing character, lineage, and the so-called star god's approval. After a single draw, I was full of expectations, and then the blue light flashed. Congratulations on getting the 3-star stigmata, Hannah. Seeing the effect, Esther was speechless for a moment, feeling that her expectations and confidence had been thwarted. Basically, it increases physical damage by 10%, and there is no set effect for a single piece. But quickly adjust the mentality. 5-star stigmata can't be obtained casually, just draw 10 times in a row. 5 3-star stigmata, 4 dog food, 1 guaranteed 4-star stigmata Hyuxi, Wang Zheajun, upper rank stigmata, fire elemental damage increased by 15%. Wow! Forget it, this stigmata can still be used, and the vertical painting is also very beautiful, it's okay. Then continue to draw 10 consecutive draws, resulting in 3 3-star stigmata, 6 dog food, and the guaranteed Edison median stigmata. The effect is that the element of thunder is enhanced, and a shield is obtained every 6 seconds. Ah, why did I get one that I can't use? It can only be used by characters in the game. When I was preparing for 10 consecutive draws, I found that there were not enough crystals. The boss is coming for a 648. As he spoke, he couldn't wait to return to his seat and continue drawing. The first round of 10 consecutive 3-star stigmata 6, dog food 3, guaranteed 4-star stigmata Edison's upper stigmata, still thunder and lightning element damage. The second round of 10 rounds, 3-star stigmata 3, dog food 5, 4-star stigmata Edison lower stigmata, Galileo upper stigmata limit dodge to increase total damage. Here, Edison has collected a complete set. I don't want to ask too much, Wang Zheajun, just give me a set. Esther suddenly felt that the chosen one, who was full of confidence before, was bullshit, and he was obviously so black-faced. Boss, another 648. Soon 10 consecutive draws were drawn, and the first 10 consecutive 4-star stigmata Ogre hit the 4-star stigmata Akudaga Waryu Unosuk. Ah! I don't want to see Blu-ray anymore. Scott, and the guaranteed 5-star stigmata Dansu. The good news is that Ziguang has been seen, and the bad news is that it is guaranteed. However, the 5-star stigmata was still installed, and he hurried to find monsters in the game to try the knife. Pick up the Yanbayan Dragon Warrior in the initial A and put on a brand new stigmata, even if you are holding a 2-star Tadeo in your hand, killing the abyss monster that was almost scraped becomes almost explosive. 5 consecutive slashes, pursuits, heavy blows, and the final kill of the Red Lotus fire. Time seems to be forbidden, the blade shuttles back and forth at the speed of light, cuts dozens of knives, and then stands with the knife. The Emperor is cut into pieces like a melon in an instant. 10.5. Wow! This feeling is really great, the Thai pants are hot, and a 5-star has such a powerful boost. It's not bad. After experiencing it, Miss Esta immediately felt that the money was worth it, so she got up and went to the bar again. The boss is coming for a 648. Every sound of Esther's voice shocked the other staff in the internet cafe. Wow! Station Master Esther is too rich. This is the 4th 648. After converting to 8 million credits, I kind of believe that Station Master Esther may be the director of Fleming, the Cosmic Interstellar Peace Company. Rumor has spread about my daughter, and I took out something worth 8 million credits without batting an eye. It's too ruthless. The Black Tower on the side was still going through the plot, but was also surprised by the lottery drawn by Esta next to her. It seems that it is a bit difficult to draw, but it is only a little money. I will try it after I finish the plot. And Esther didn't care about other people's eyes, and continued to draw the lottery, and then the boss will come to 648 again. The boss will come to 648 again. Boss, hey, where's my money? I obviously brought more than 4,000 xingsheng here today. Asda touched her pocket, feeling a little anxious. I guarantee that I won the second 5-star stigmata, and I will be short of the last one. This feeling of being up and down is extremely uncomfortable. Boss, wait for a while, I will ask Alan to exchange for a few more xingsheng. The other staff who saw this scene were numb. Sure enough, Station Master Esta is definitely a young lady. She carries Xing Kaiang worth tens of millions, but I feel that Station Master Esta is a bit unlucky. Yes, although she is unlucky, she is rich. Don't talk about it, it's a luxury for someone like me to play games here without luck, money, or girlfriend. As a result, the Station Master Esta took 648 to eat and drink, and it was a critical blow. Meanwhile, outside the door. It should be here, the Game Master Internet Cafe. There are so many people outside, the popularity is really high. March 7th looked at the crowd outside the door and the lively voices inside and said, "Well, let's go in." Xingmei opened the door and went in. "Hi. Boss, we are here to patronize your business." As soon as I opened the store on March 7th, I saw a table of xingsheng that hadn't been put away on Luo Yu's table, and Miss Esta slapped a bag of xingsheng on the table again. "Boss, another 648. As Esta said, she saw March 7 and Xingmei at the door out of the corner of her eye, and said hello. "Hi, March 7th, you're here too?" Yes, but isn't it expensive here?" Just entering the door on March 7th, I was stunned to see Esta's 648 offensive. So many xingsheng threw almost 2 million credits on the table. If so, she might not be able to afford it. "Oh, it's not expensive or expensive. I only spent so much money for the stigmata when you dealt with Doomsday Beast. It's fine if you usually play games." "Ah? So the stigmata given to us by the store manager is so precious? No wonder it has to be taken back." March Chi understood, and instantly felt it was a matter of course. If not, March Chi felt a little hot. "Since you are interested, in order to thank your space station for your help, I will do my best as a landlord. I have paid for today's internet fee. You can play as you like. After you finish playing, you can go back to my house to sleep. My house is still quite big." How embarrassing. "It's okay, I spent more than 5,000 xingsheng today, which is 1/10 of my pocket money for this month. It's nothing more than your internet fee. It doesn't matter. You have fun the best." March 7th was even more shocked, but naturally she would not refuse a rich woman's treat. Besides, March 7th was actually a pioneer and explored the way. After the experience, she had to report to Aunt Gzi and Uncle Yang. The time when Xingmei came was around lunchtime, and it happened that the time for 2 staff members was up, and Esther gave the 2 daughters an extra 6 hours. "So which of these 2 games do you play?" "It's just this white-haired girl, she feels quite vigorous, maybe she has a similar personality to mine." Sanyu Chi took a fancy to the icon of Honkai Sankyana at a glance. Chapter 16. Okay, since you've played Honkai III, I'll try this Resident Evil. The two decided to start the game. March 7 is not particularly interested in fighting, but he is very interested in the plot in Honkai III. Why does the female voice in this voice feel a little familiar? No matter, this Kiyuna's appearance is a bit handsome. She jumped down from a height of 10,000 meters, so free and unrestrained. The scene of the sunset and shooting stars is really good. Hurry up and take a picture. Then it gets into the plot very quickly. This Kiyuna seems to be very handsome in fighting, but is she actually stupid and a little bit of a love brain in private? Why do you feel stupid than me? March 7 was amused by Kiyuna's words. With a character of being indecisive and reckless, it can only be said that the protagonist has strength and willfulness. Could it be that the story is about a beautiful girl posting and then hitting monsters along the way? If so, it doesn't seem difficult, right? But the voice is getting more and more familiar, it seems to be Jitsi. The smile of March 7 who just thought this way stopped abruptly. And sure enough, the familiar yet unfamiliar figure was projected on the screen in front of him very soon. Familiarity is the voice, body, and appearance, and unfamiliar words are temperament. One is a successful lady with a noble and elegant temperament and a successful career, and the other seems to be a major and teacher who teaches and educates people. The Jitsi of the Star Train is a scientist who is elegantly dressed, well-groomed, and can drink coffee leisurely and do what he is interested in. However, Jitsi in the Honkai III game has her hair simply coiled up and her clothes are simple and capable. Although the image of the Valkyrie ready to fight. The contrast between the two suddenly made March 7's pupils widen a bit. What's wrong? What's wrong? How can they be so similar? And they still have the same name? No, I have to send a message to Aunt Gzi. This news is too explosive. On March 7, he quickly took out his mobile phone and typed. Meanwhile, Gzi, who was on the Seeing Dome train, was looking at the pattern of the stigmata on the white skin behind her in the mirror, and the familiar image in the stigmata that was almost integrated with her. Leave this stigmata to me alone. The meaning of the boss disclosure is not simple. I seem to be able to guess a little bit of what it means. It depends on how little Sanyu understands it. Just as Gzi thought about it, the phone vibrated and a message came. It's really timely. And the above message on March 7 begins with 3 exclamation marks. It's unbelievable, I saw you who are the same but different from you, Aunt Jitsi, in the Honkai III game in Boss Luo's shop. Tell me in detail, what am I like in that game? The corners of Gzi's mouth curled up slightly, as if he had guessed right. Well, it's almost like this. I just took a picture for you. The picture on the phone was enlarged, and Gzi showed a surprised expression when she saw her appearance inside. I didn't expect me to be like this in that world. It seems that I have to go there. That game should be created by the game master, and the source should be the world it observed. Jitsi in this should be from another world. And may have actually existed. Jitsi obviously knows a lot, and even he himself has a deep study of the galaxy star god and even the tree of imaginary numbers. There are too many worlds, and it is impossible to deny the existence of himself in a different world. Gzi soon came to this Game Master Internet Cafe, and there were still quite a few people here even though it was approaching evening. There is even a group of staff outside the Internet Cafe. Some of them are competing with the fighting they learned from Resident Evil, and some are testing how their strength has improved. In short, most of them have more or less started the life of the game life. People. With so many journeys in the life of the game, the power of Luo Yu's omnipotent power has greatly increased to create more energy for the game. Today's data name, Luo Yu race, Star God Destiny, the power of everything, incomplete, 2% recovery rate, ability, power upgrade, create game world, observe world extraction. That's right, after a wave of promotion, he now has 3 abilities. As the name suggests, power upgrade, as long as there is a kind of power, even if it is from a low plane, it can be raised to the level of a high plane. Creating a game world is Luo Yu's initial ability. Once the game world is created, all the abilities in this world can be used. And the third ability is the ability that has just been opened, that is, observation world extraction. As long as you find a world that can be observed, then the things you fancy in this world can be copied or forcibly extracted, and then after you upgrade your own power, then this skill can be used by yourself. It seems that there will be no shortage of all kinds of bells and whistles in the future. Such abilities are really good. Luo Yu was very satisfied. This good news made his attitude much better. The beautiful boy's smile was natural and innocent, which made some female staff members blush unconsciously when they saw it. I didn't expect Boss Luo to look pretty when he smiles. Yes, there is a neutral beauty. I feel that this face with long hair is a beautiful girl. How long this face is, it is really enviable. The staff members of the space station discussed in low voices. At this time, the door was opened, and a familiar fiery red figure walked in. Luo Yu smiled even brighter after seeing the visitor. So it's Captain Jitsi, welcome. Business is so good, no wonder Boss Luo is so happy, so don't mind if I join in the fun and experience Boss Luo's internet cafe. I'm curious about what magic power can attract so many people. It's too late to welcome, find a seat and sit down. Gzi nodded, and soon found San Yuqi and Xing who were addicted to games in the store, but they didn't notice when she came. Gzi also found a place to sit down. Honkai III, it should be this game. After opening the game, Jitsi can experience the plot with peace of mind, and the female voice in the emergency broadcast at the beginning feels like her own voice. Entering the plot, Jitsi soon saw another self after some experience fighting. Major Himeko, Mr. Himeko, is a well-dressed teacher. I seem to be a Valkyrie in this world, protecting human beings against Honkai, so I speak very concisely. But why didn't the other self pursue the path of an aerospace scientist? Gzi was a little puzzled. Although the world is different, people are the same at the beginning. What changed his ideal in another world and took the road of Valkyrie? Chapter 17. So this collapse is a kind of disaster, and these monsters will be produced, and the target monsters seem to be divided into levels. Gzi watched while analyzing the plot and the background of this world. And as Jitsi watched, he found that he in the collapsed world seemed to be particularly concerned about Kiyuna, a stupid student. This student can't remember the knowledge of fighting against Honkai at all, but he has an amazing fighting talent. If he can obey orders better and have a more stable personality, he is definitely the best fighter born. Not a problem. If I have this kind of student, I might try my best to change her character, which is too jumpy now. If this character is not controlled, it may suffer a lot. Gzi leaned on the beauty's oval face and quietly watched the plot, thinking so. It's so good. This friendship, each other takes care of each other as the most important person in their lives. Kiyuna and Mei must have experienced mutual adversity and friendship so solidly. That was the beginning of the tragedy. Gzi had just made a comment, and then saw a group of Honkai emperors besieging the two daughters. Kiyuna was defeated and exhausted, and Mei was still struggling to support. And just as Himeko guessed, Mei cares about Kiyuna very much. I can't fall down here, at least let Kiyuna. The third Hairsker's reaction is detected, the restriction program is activated, but just for a moment, Mei's gentle appearance instantly became fierce and aggressive, her eyes seemed to change her person, and the sword, light and sword flashed across in an instant. Go to hell, Chop Suey! When the screen changed, another Brynja with 2 turbo drills was hacking into the system, and rushed to support the moment she succeeded, but the first thing she saw in the next moment was the Emperor of the Honkai who seemed to be cut into pieces from the central plains, and holding Mei, who was looking at Kiyuna with weak eyes at the moment. Brynja, that's great, you're fine. Sister Mei. Gzi took a sip of coffee. Really, I didn't expect this Mei to have such power in her body, the third Hairsker, restricting the program. Gzi keenly senses that there is a big secret. Mei's past is definitely not simple, and what Hairsker is, at least for now, is that she is powerful and needs to be restricted. And the battleship Moonlight Throne actually used Kiyuna's birthday as the password, and also sent a message. Dear Kiyuna, hello, this battleship Moonlight Throne will be returned to you after 14 years, you will ascend the throne and shape a new world, but before that, you still need to obtain 4 keys. Thunder to conquer, fire to plague, storm to desire, death to be silent. These 2 people have big secrets, and the 4 keys seem to be the crystallization or core of the 4 abilities, or how can they talk about the keys, and there is death. This world feels that although the power system is not high, but the ability alone still very powerful. Jitsi was convinced after experiencing the plot of the first chapter of the battle. As for the main character trio, they only have B-level armor and always have space-time fracture technology, and Brynja's ult is short-lived as long as the gravitational point of the black hole is used to control the enemy. Self-developed weapons and distinct levels of Valkyries, this is a world with almost complete systems. After clearing the first chapter, Gzi was planning to continue the plot of the next chapter, but after clearing the level, she unlocked a lot of new things, and after looking at them one by one, she finally saw a mobile phone logo in a corner. Click on it, and soon I took out the phone in the game. The above functions basically serve the game, but there is something interesting in it. Comics, audio novels. If you want to understand a more detailed plot, you should learn more about the history of this world. At this time, there are only a few comics in the comics, and after reading the introduction, I finally escaped from Chongqing City and attracted my attention. In 2014, Chongqing City suffered a severe collapse. The protagonist trio escaped from Chongqing City and encountered Luo Yu to Himeko, the Valkyrie of the Destiny organization. Gzi clicked directly into the plot. However, the opening plot made Gzi a little confused. What a beautiful night view! Gzi was wearing a dress and holding a goblet, standing in a tall building in Chongqing City. The red wine in the glass matched perfectly with her extremely gorgeous and glamorous dress. No matter how beautiful the night scene is, Ms. Gzi will only be overshadowed by your beauty. The very handsome man beside him spoke softly. Your mouth is so sweet. Ah, it seems like I'm dating, right? Was I so anxious in that world? I'm obviously not more than 30 years old. Gzi was a little puzzled, but it doesn't matter, it will probably be clear after she understands the plot setting of this game. With the arrival of the battleship Hyperion in such a romantic atmosphere, Jitsi, who was dating, suddenly snapped. Because of the emergency of the Honkai, Jitsi was very upset at being interrupted, but when the secretary reported that the Honkai was at the same level as 14 years ago, her beautiful face instantly became serious. Everyone boards the ship immediately, aiming at Chongqing City. I'm coming for the third collapse. Looking at his excited expression in the comics, he fell into thought. Is this the third collapse? There must be the first and second. Gzi continued to watch the plot. The protagonist trio is hiding in Chongqing City looking for a safe place, but the Honkai beast has been chasing them as if they have installed a positioning on them. And because there are high-rise buildings as the standard, Gzi clearly saw the Honkai beast that was taller than a 30-story building. The strength of such a large Honkai beast should not be underestimated. Brenya's heavy-duty bunny didn't last long, but Kiyuna was injured because of protecting Mei, and the blood on her back was blurred. Looking at Kiyuna lying in her arms with blood splattered on her back, Gzi saw a thunder and lightning explosion that was more terrifying than what she saw in the plot. The terrifying thunder and lightning instantly split the Honkai beast in half, and the lightning shield protected the two of them. And Lei Dian Mei's eyes gradually became violent, her clothes were all torn, and she also showed a special mark. After the appearance of this stigmata, Mei's strength soared directly, easily torn apart by hand, and half of the wings transformed into tyrannical thunder and lightning grew on the back. And speak the words of caring in the strongest words possible. It's ugly to protect this kid from being injured. Don't die, I can only kill you. Gzi, who was observing from a third party, looked at the destroyed street and seemed to understand. This uncontrollable force must be restricted in the human world where there are many mortals. Chapter 18. At this moment in the comics, Luo Yu to Himeko doesn't know the specific truth, and treats it directly as Honkai, using the nuclear furnace on Hyperion to activate the Nexus system. Absorbing such a huge amount of power is enough to rival the current half-baked hairsker of thunder, but the load on the body is also enormous. Seeing this, Gzi substituting her own body suddenly. If you continue to fight like this, your life potential will be consumed prematurely. I'm afraid you won't live to be 40 or 50 years old, so there is some reason for being so anxious about dating. In fact, the result of forced driving is that I have not recovered from lying in bed for 3 days. And at such a price, it was only in exchange for a blow that was as powerful as the hairsker. The hairsker of thunder did not suffer the slightest damage and planned to solve this obstructive person. But at this time, Kiyuna, who suffered a mere fatal injury, was physically fit beyond ordinary people. Stop! Give me back my Mei! Oh! Do mere mortals want to tear off the wings of gods with their hands? Just as the Thunder Queen said it, her wings were suddenly torn apart by Kiyuna's backhand, and she was deflated on the spot. How is it possible? How can human hands tear off the wings of a god? Maybe the wings are the main body, the consciousness of the Queen of Lightning will soon return to the body, and Mei's personality will return, and the disaster will be considered to be over. Gzi naturally took the two of them back. Both of them had serious problems. One hairsker and the other tearing hairsker's wings were too weird and completely unscientific. And I didn't understand these until I went back to St. Freya Academy to investigate. Kiuna is a member of the Kislana family, and Teresa, the head of the S-rank Valkyrie Academy, is Kiuna's aunt. It really is not an ordinary family. And the other Raiden Mei is the eldest lady of the Mi Club. Her father was arrested for being suspected of financial fraud. This daughter is also discredited. She was criticized in Kirnu Academy. Only the idiot Kiuna fell in love with Mei at first sight. It turns out that the two know each other like this, and the companionship along the way has forged the current friendship. Maybe a simple person has an instinctive feeling about who is good and who is bad. After all, everyone she makes friends with will basically help her in the future. The treatment of Raiden Mei was much gentler at St. Freya Academy. Raiden Mei was desperate when she learned that she was out of control again and caused damage. The only thing that reassured her was that Kiana was out of danger. That's good, as long as I live, I will definitely hurt others, so as long as I die. Is it okay to kill you? Stop joking. Gzi slapped Raiden Mei directly. We are fighters fighting against Honkai, not executioners who attack girls, let me live well. But if I... Then let me train you to become a qualified fighter. It is enough for you to control this power. If you think it is not safe, I will set up a small program to plant a bomb next to your heart. Once your body collapses if it gets too high, it will explode. Wu Yang Tajitsu's resolute and courageous courage successfully changed Raiden Mei's thoughts, and also silenced Jitsi in front of the screen. Maybe our personalities are still the same, it's just that we have experienced different experiences. I hope that I in another world can have a good ending. But after reading the manga quickly, Gzi immediately understood some of it but caused more doubts, such as second, what happened in the first collapse, what is the nature of hairsker, and what kind of ecology this world is in. And these have to be found in the game. Everyone in Benghua is still going through the plot, and the earliest Resident Evil is now that many people are stuck in the level of the hunter, so many people can't pass it at all and can only play BENG3, but some people directly consult Luo Yu, can you come up with a strategy or something? Not only the strategy but also the plot. I'm too curious about the plot behind it, but we can't beat it at all. Some plot parties just feel itchy and anxious. Okay, since so many people are asking, I'll play Resident Evil Live later. Speaking of which, the largest screen on the bar opened, and Luo Yu's screen perspective was quickly displayed. Boss Luo is broadcasting Resident Evil Live, so I want to see it. I was the first one in this store to be attracted by this game. How did the so-called crisis and zombies come about? Miss Esta, who spent 10,648 of Krypton gold and finally collected a set of Danzu suits, was very excited when she heard the news. As an adventure-loving girl, she really wanted to know the truth about the mansion and the inside story behind it. A good big house in the suburbs is made like this. Xing Mei, who was seriously fighting the hunter, stopped fighting when she heard the news. She turned her seat and looked at the bar. Anyway, she couldn't fight and had to see how Luo Yu fought. After learning about the situation, many people turned their seats to watch one by one. As a result, people playing games on both sides of the internet cafe turned around to watch, especially those who couldn't get in line were at the front. Luo Yu's progress is still very fast. The first time you enter the game, you will be besieged by 3 hunters. Everyone here has never seen this scene except for the Black Tower, and there was a burst of exclamation in the store. Why is the boss being besieged by 3 hunters? I haven't been able to defeat them all this time, it's too difficult. Isn't the most important thing the boss is using a knife? We can't shoot with a gun. Isn't the boss going to die? Comparing your heart to your heart, no one here except Haida has the confidence to deal with 3 hunters with a knife at the same time. After all, the physical fitness of the characters in Resident Evil is similar, at most the weapons are slightly different. They also want to see why some people with the same body are so powerful. During the battle, the officers were dumbfounded. Luo Yu basically relied on the terrain and seemed to be able to predict the future. As soon as the hunter was about to attack, Luo Yu flew forward and headshot him fiercely with a knife. One threw the corpse at another hunter who was a little further away, and suddenly attacked the nearest one. Moreover, those hunters who were horrific and sure to kill were all easily caught by Luo Yu's dagger, as if they were familiar with the practice thousands of times. The hunters couldn't reach the corner of Luo Yu's clothes before being bullied by Luo Yu and headshot him, and waited until the last one reacted. When they came, the 2 companions had died suddenly. Wow, boss, this is not cheating. What's the trick? I'm familiar with it. As long as you can remember where the hunter is and what attack moves you are used to, it will be easy. There are only two situations in the level, one is completely defeated. However, one is to pass slowly. Just like an exam, the exam questions are the same. After hundreds of exams, the final score will reach 100 points. Luo Yu's words made everyone who was listening look at each other in dismay. It seems so reasonable. The hunter puts it here like a test paper. How can I pass if I don't treat it as if I have overcome a problem? Chapter 19. Luo Yu's words immediately enlightened the staff who heard it. As long as you work hard, you will be able to deal with the hunter. If you don't, it can only be said that your hard work is not long enough and thorough enough. Even if Luo Yu's strength is limited, his spiritual reaction speed allows him to kill the hunter very easily, and now the hunter is nothing to him. And with Luo Yu's speed of light, people quickly learned the secret of this mansion. The mansion designer was imprisoned in the mansion he designed and had nowhere to escape, starving to death. What happened to his wife and children was even more terrible. And this secret is in the hidden space of the mansion. 2 months before the arrival of the protagonist group, someone deliberately sabotaged the laboratory and leaked the virus, causing the scientific research staff inside to be infected or become zombies or killed, and soon the place was abandoned and became rampant with zombies. After unlocking the plot, go back to the main hall and you can see that there is a secret room hidden by a small staircase. Through the iron gate, you can see a deep tunnel inside, and the gate needs 2 emblems of the umbrella company to open. And after staying for a while, you can hear a terrifying howling like a female ghost. Wow! What's in here? The sound is so scary. The boss of this game shouldn't be locked inside. There's a big secret, I'll check it out later. And as Luo Yu collected the diary information in the mansion, they quickly pieced it together. The above content made people understand that this is not a mansion at all, but the earliest virus research institute of Umbrella Company in this place. Spencer, one of the founders of the Umbrella Company, discovered the progenitor virus and brought it to the Acre Mountains outside Raccoon City to build an underground laboratory, and hired a well-known architectural designer to cover up his dirty and ugly laboratory. Mansion Villa. Is the truth actually like this? This Umbrella Company is really hateful, this virus should be completely destroyed. Viruses are terrifying to humans, but they are also terrifying in the universe, such as destroying the star god's star core. Ms. Haida watched earnestly, and she knew what was going on. Although the world view was not great, the discussion on human nature was consistent. And in the plot, I soon encountered a terrifying monster with shackles, a hunchback and deformity, and many human skin masks on its head. This image can scare people even across the screen. Is this the biggest boss of this mansion? Moreover, this monster is terrifyingly powerful, easily smashing boulders, and the bullets of the team members can't kill them with headshots. On the other hand, Luo Yu just bypassed and didn't fight at all, and didn't make a move at all. The audience who saw it looked questioning. Isn't the store manager very brave? Why did this monster run away without even hitting him? March 7 scratched her head. Needless to say, the store manager must be scared. A bullet can't kill you with a headshot. The dagger might not be scraping, and if you let this guy touch it, the character might be directly discounted. Esta looked at the monster's terrifying strength and felt that she was afraid just by looking at it, let alone fighting in close quarters. Humph, needless to say, this little boss is just scared, if he can't beat him, he just bypasses it. Haida sharply commented. Luo Yu didn't respond to this in his mind, but the search plot speeded up. The information that was quickly found made people feel depressed. The building was completed to keep a secret, and the designer was basically the same as the craftsman who repaired the Imperial Mausoleum. But Spencer was even more ruthless, and cruelly dealt with the designer's family of 3. A yellowed photo of a family of 3 can be found in a cabin in a suburban cemetery. The family is very happy to live very happily. But the final result was that the designer starved to death. Spencer researched the first virus product and used the designer's family as the experimental body of the ancestor virus, and injected it directly into the designer's wife, who soon lost her memory and died. But the daughter unfortunately adapted to the virus and became a virus symbiont in the tragedy, and all the viruses researched by Umbrella Surprise hit her daughter Lisa, making Lisa more and more schizophrenic and irritable, and her hands were shackled. A hunchback deformed, a scary monster covered with many human skins on the head, and the reason is that those female researchers stole their mother's face, so they tore them off and put them on their head. It's nothing more than a broken family. Looking at the poor little girl and the monster in front of them in the photo, the staff immediately understood why Luo Yu stopped fighting when he saw the monster at first. It was not because he was afraid, but because he shouldn't. The ugliness of human nature and malice are everywhere in this game. Jitsi feels that this game is too dark and everything, living in this place is worse than death. I didn't expect this monster to be the designer's daughter. This is too tragic. Estee covered her mouth in disbelief. How can this person's heart be so bad? This girl really wants to shoot that bad old man to death with one arrow. March 7th felt that her heart was disgusted by the villain. If Spencer was in front of her, he might be shot into a few big holes and turned into a scum. And Luo Yu continued on. After finding 2 coats of arms and opening the door, you can see that Uncle Barry is trying to open the coffin. When he saw Luo Yu walking over, he immediately became vigilant and raised his gun, but Luo Yu quickly kicked the pistol away. After reaching the top of his head, catch the muzzle until Uncle Barry. Listen to me, I really have difficulties, please believe me. I felt something wrong with you along the way, as if you were covering up something. You should know the secret here, tell me your instigation behind the scenes. The protagonist questioned Uncle Barry, but at this moment, Lisa suddenly appeared, and seeing the 2 people next to the sarcophagus suddenly became furious, and rushed towards them. Trust me, I have a way to calm her down. But Luo Yu chose to believe, and soon it became himself dealing with Lisa to delay time, while Uncle Barry went to the 4 corners of the sarcophagus to push down the stones tied with iron chains. And Luo Yu was forced to fight around, his steps were nimble, and the monster couldn't touch his clothes. And soon a minute passed, and the sarcophagus bound by iron chains after the 4 large stones were pushed down was gradually opened, and there was a white skull inside. Why is it a skull? I thought it was another monster, after all, it was so tightly sealed. Could it be that the identity of this skull has a history? Without waiting for people to guess too much, the monster Lisa saw the skull in the coffin, and suddenly let out a sad roar, which shocked everyone, and then jumped into the abyss with the bones in her arms. The scene was tragic and desolate. A good family of 3 turned into this human tragedy. It was supposed to be a happy family, but a biochemical virus was involved. Chapter 20. Everyone is still feeling sad because of the ending of the designer family and Lisa. But the plot did not end, but came to the laboratory in the basement of the Western Mansion at the last location. Here lies the final ending and secret. All kinds of human monsters in the green culture tank in the laboratory look horrifying. People who walk here alone with a bad attitude will probably be frightened. But this is exactly the definition of the horror adventure of the first generation of Resident Evil, and Li Sangguang's play is as different as his own family. In the final chapter, the missing Weskier is processing data in the laboratory, and Uncle Barry pointed his gun at Luo Yu. Yes, the real traitor is Weskier. His real identity is the eyeliner placed by the umbrella company inside the STARS team. The real purpose is to recover data for the company and destroy laboratory data. It's no wonder that everyone in the team died unexpectedly. It turns out that there are traitors inside, so it's not surprising. After understanding the man behind the scenes, everything becomes clear. Weskier was just about to shoot, and Luo Yu kicked the 2's guns away without waiting for Uncle Barry's reaction. After all, if it wasn't for the plot, he wouldn't be bothered to talk nonsense with these 2. After Luo Yu's sudden attack, Weskier was still confident and released the terrifying biological weapon in the training tank behind him, the Tyrant. The Tyrant is the most representative monster in Resident Evil, and it has been changed from generation to generation, with many models. Seeing the Tyrant, who was more than 2 meters tall, the atmosphere suddenly became dignified. But soon a funny scene happened. After releasing the Tyrant, Weskier laughed and said that you are going to die, but he himself was slapped to death by the unsightly Tyrant, actually pretending to be dead, but the audience who didn't know why was immediately happy. The gap between being arrogant 1 second and directly turning into a cold corpse the next is quite funny. But after laughing, the smile gradually disappeared. No way, no Resident Evil, the last boss we have to face is this big guy, a mortal body to challenge such a terrifying monster. The result is exactly that, the animation cutscene, the blood bar is displayed above the Tyrant's head, and the final test begins. Tyrant, the name sounds cruel, boss, can he beat this guy? Miss Esta clenched her hands and became nervous, but she also looked forward to it. If a mortal body challenges such a monster, he can still fight with a gun, but the little boss seems to be holding a knife in his hand. Is this preparing to kill the Tyrant? Miss Haida couldn't help but take a deep breath. Tyrants may not be very powerful to them, but it is almost impossible to challenge them with mortal bodies. It's like a baby holding an unedged knife to kill a muscular man. If the difference can be killed, then it can only be said that this person's consciousness fighting skills have reached their peak. And the destructive power of the tyrant was soon revealed. The inhuman monster smashed the wall with a slap. Flesh and flesh creatures are just mortal bodies. The tyrant's attack was simple and direct, but extremely fast, and the range of the huge claw slap was almost 180 degrees, it was impossible to dodge left and right. Luo Yu, who was attacked by surprise, looked a little more seriously. Facing the killing blow that suddenly forced the corner of the wall, Luo Yu just ducked down. Grab it and pop it. Luo Yu hastily rolled sideways to distance himself from the tyrant. If the distance is too close, even Luo Yu might lose his brain reaction and overturn. After all, this is actually the first time he has fought against the perverted and enhanced version of the tyrant that he designed. No doubt. But the destructive power of the tyrant who watched the live broadcast of the internet cafe suddenly felt thumping. Is this tyrant monster really beaten by someone? I guess I might not be able to pass the level in my life. Remove the estimate, this speed, this destructive power, at least it is the ultimate enhanced version of the hunter, I can feel my scalp numb from the hunter, let alone this big guy. Come on. Xingmei watched Luo Yu, who was dealing with the tyrant on the big screen, gradually clenched her fists. Ms. Haida and Jitsi were watching carefully without blinking. The tyrant's speed was extremely fast, and what was even more frightening was that Uncle Barry's magnum pistol hit its heart. Although blood spattered, the tyrant felt no pain as if he were a moving corpse. Instead, he slapped Uncle Barry to the ground with a slap. The glass made of the special material of the cultivation tank was almost dry and shattered, with cracks all over it. And Luo Yu was very patient, dodging the tyrant's attack from left to right, as if he was familiar with the rhythm and distance of the tyrant's attack, and after the first dodge, he suddenly slid forward and headshot him, and the blood bar instantly disappeared 5%, no more, no less. But Luo Yu didn't withdraw the knife, instead he quickly stepped back and took out a small knife again to continue walking. This guy is really there. He is indeed the boss. He is a game master and his reaction is really fast. Esther watched nervously, just like the fans watching the game, the player she likes performed exceptionally and immediately drew applause. After all, what you can't do yourself can only look at others. It's just that the tyrant's movement was too big and the retraction speed was a little slower. In fact, it's only 0.5 seconds, but he found an opportunity in this 0.5 seconds, and it takes a total of 20 such opportunities, and there can't be any mistakes. It seems that the difficulty of this tyrant is not generally high. Ms. Haida's words can be said to make the onlookers understand the difficulty even more. Master Haida has said so. I feel that this monster is from the series of the lifetime, and it cannot be defeated at all. The boss is really an amazing person. It seems that he became an envoy and was favored by the game god for no reason. What a terrifying fighting talent. A mortal can challenge a monster 10 times stronger than himself. I can't imagine what it looks like when he is really serious at the envoy level. Seeing little knowledge, GZI saw Luo Yu's comments. As the battle lasted for 5 minutes, Luo Yu gradually figured out the mechanism of the tyrant. After 3 quick charges, there would be a 0.5 second freeze. With this, Luo Yu quickly headshot the tyrant 10 times. The top of the tyrant's head was a dagger. The appearance of horror is also funny. Chapter 21. The tyrant hit here. Luo Yu thinks it's about the same, the show operation is over here, he can fight, but he doesn't have to kill the tyrant, the most important thing is to show the plot, and leave the laboratory quickly after another headshot with Chris and Jill. Just after escaping from the mansion, it was already dawn outside. At this moment, there was a loud bang, and the tyrant jumped out of the laboratory like a monkey, and the battle seemed to continue. At this time, the running helicopter in the sky flew over, and threw down a bazooka without talking about martial arts. Goodbye, then. The bazooka was launched, and the tyrant was torn apart in one shot. As long as the shattering is thorough enough, it is impossible to heal and recover quickly. Ah, does this kind of weapon still exist? Then I feel that I can defeat the tyrant. Everyone was more or less stunned. They didn't expect that this game also had rocket launchers. Although they were a bit old-fashioned, they were powerful enough to blow up a building. There is also this way of skipping classes. It seems that customs clearance is just around the corner. I thought I would kill the tyrant completely. Everyone breathed out and felt that the difficulty was not so exaggerated. But Luo Yu smiled and said nothing. You can skip classes, but that's no wonder your grades are poor. After all, the destiny you designed is that it is easy to get started, but it gets harder as you go further. There is a gap between a failure and a full score, between the fate of killing the whole process and the fate of skipping classes by tricks. The strength of the two is also very different. The one who clears the level with a sword can beat 10 skippers, no matter where there is a gap between ordinary people and geniuses. This requires biochemical players to gradually feel it, and I believe they will understand it soon. The tyrant was killed, the mansion exploded, and this dirty place was buried. Everyone's mission was completed, and the heroic beauty Jill with short hair on the plane leaned against the protagonist's arms. The sunset is so beautiful, but it also reminds people of the difficult and frightening journey in the mansion. Although the protagonist here is immortal, I have to say that the boss's manipulation is really amazing. He's so handsome. The task is completed, the hero saves the beauty. Maybe we can embrace the beauty when we go back. The little boss's strength has improved really fast. The day I first came, he was a bit difficult to hunt and kill. He is really an interesting man. I really want to study him. What did he eat to grow up so young? The Black Tower commented so. Story adventures are good, this game is great, there are no major shortcomings except that it is a bit more difficult. Esther made a comment, and then continued to fight Honkai III. It is better to use Krypton Gold, at least you have experience in Krypton Gold games. As for what is experience, even though he was also abused by monsters from the abyss, he feels superior when he sees others stuck in front of monsters that he can instantly kill. Everyone is now at the original sin level, and there is no set of 4-star stigmata, which is incomparable with Esta's 5-star set. She is the first place in original sin. Meanwhile, unknown somewhere in the starry sky, the Maharaja of Extinction received news that a doom beast had been destroyed. It is not surprising that the Black Tower space station has the ability to kill Doom Beast. But unexpectedly, in the last picture of Doom Beast, it was destroyed by another wave of people. Go, investigate, I want to know what happened to the space station. The news came quickly. The Star Corps hunters, the Star Corps carrier, and the group of guys who call themselves the pioneers of the Star Train, it's really lively. These news are still valuable, especially the human carrier that can hold the Star Core in the body, so it is very necessary to report to Lord Destroyer Star God. There is, however, an interesting piece of news at the end of the report. There seems to be a new kind of destiny in the Black Tower space station, and this destiny seems to belong to the Game Master, and the way to develop this destiny is to go to a Game Master's internet cafe to play games. This news made the extinct Maharaja watch it for a minute to digest. Is there a video? Let me see what the hell is the game that can open the destiny made by the so-called Game Master who has never heard of it. After a while, a video memory came. Here is a screen of Luo Yu live broadcasting Resident Evil. After watching for a while, the extinct Maharaja suddenly sneered. A mortal is playing a game of fighting monsters, and he still uses that kind of knife. I'm afraid that knife can't kill even the most basic Destiny Walker. This monster is also weak and pathetic. It's a waste of time for boring things. That Game Master made such a thing? Maharaja Extinction said this because he didn't understand it. He only saw the surface and didn't understand its deep core. And soon the second video was also uploaded. This is the second game. Inside, a pink-haired girl is happily killing mobs with yanba, like chopping melons and vegetables. This is the strength of an ordinary Destiny Walker. At best, his fighting skills are good, but in the face of absolute power, everything is false, and the game made by the Game Master is nothing more than that. As far as the game started, I'm afraid it's also the weakest Destiny Walker, and there is no threat at all. This so-called Game Master is probably not the weakest newly promoted Star God, and he is not a threat to the destroying Star God Nanook at all. Maharaja Extinction quickly lost interest, and he did not intend to report to the Destroyer Star God, he was too weak. If Luo Yu heard the words of Maharaja Extinction, he would probably die laughing. And give a thumbs up to the person who came out of the picture. This guy, it's not good to shoot anyone, but a Krypton Gold boss. The strength of this pair of original sin mobs, Abyss, is equivalent to tens of millions of credits, and original sin is only the bottom, because vegetables are original sins, and there are pains on them, Red Lotus, Nirvana, and strength is geometrically doubled. And the power gained by Mingta will not be weak, because Luo Yu's games are relatively difficult. Do not fight. People with a strong will to fight can easily control power, and even break through the limit in a crisis. This is the standard configuration of the protagonist. Internet cafes soon started a new wave of biochemical attack, and then watched Luo Yu's operation is very simple. After he went up, he was taught to be a man repeatedly by monsters, but as more and more people conquered, others couldn't sit still even if they were being abused up. Just like after school, if you don't finish your homework and don't let you eat, your good brothers are gone, and you are still standing still. This sense of urgency comes. Walter Yang was still waiting for the news when Gzi came back and brought an item that made his pupil shrink. Yang, look, this is the stigmata, what I got from playing there for a day, and this stigmata is Tesla. Chapter 22. If it is said that the character in Honkai III has a deep memory of Yang, then the first is Walter Joyce, the hairsker who gave him strength and the name of Walter, and the second may be Tesla. Stay back. What impressed me the most was probably the second time when Honkai dealt with Sirin to go to the moon, and the situation of narrow escape. He still remembered the words of the arrogant Tesla that day. Do you remember when you were a child and said that you would dance with me once when you grow up? At that moment, the woman with a knife mouth and a bean-curd heart looked back with tears in her eyes, and her smile was sad and far-fetched. Yang's eyes gradually became hollow and deep, and he looked up at the starry sky outside the train and fell into memory. Yang's performance made Gzi feel tricky. Yang, who has always been steady, would not be disturbed by anything, unless it was someone really important. Gzi looked at Yang Na, who seemed to be reminiscing about the past, and looked at his own stigmata, and seemed to vaguely understand something. Yang, do you know the red-haired girl in the stigmata? And it should be very important to you, it can't be your wife. Gzi's words immediately brought Walter back from his memories. Which store got this stigmata? Walter didn't intend to reveal his affairs, but changed the subject instead. Seeing this, Gzi understood that Walter didn't want to talk about it, so she didn't ask, but she had already acquiesced in her heart to the relationship between the two. Yes, then whether this stigmata should be given to you, she should be very important to you. That's unnecessary. Although it's her, it's not her. Even though its strength has increased a lot, it's not that person after all. Since you can get her, it means that it's fate. I won't take it away. Rest early, and I'll go see it tomorrow. Walter's appearance made Gzi take a closer look at the stigmata. Walter Yang knows the people in the stigmata, and the boss seems to have used the power of a pseudo-black hole similar to Yang. Is it possible that the boss may be in the same plane world as Yang? God observed it and made it into a game. In this way, Yang found me because he also had me in his world. Maybe it was the Wool Yang Tajitsi from the collapsed world, but seeing how incredibly excited she was when she found me. Thinking of this, Gzi suddenly had a bad premonition in his heart, and it was very possible. The next morning, Yang arrived at the Gaming Master Internet Cafe at 7 o'clock in the morning, pushed his glasses and quietly looked at the lively entrance. And what I heard in my ears was the excited discussion of this group of people. The tyrant is really hard to fight. I died dozens of times before I managed to get a headshot and then I was slapped to death. Yeah, the boss's game is quite simple. You can see it at first glance, and you can't use it as soon as you try it. I have been beaten so much today that I don't want to play. I am already playing Honkai to challenge the Abyss. Speaking of the Abyss, I'm angry. Those two Honkai Emperors are too strong. Not only are their attacks fast, but their moves are full court. The worst thing is that their blood volume is too thick. It feels like my attacks are scratching them again. Itch. Yeah, if only my Sunya had a set of Teslas, this kind of remote release of the Inch Thunderball kills them, so that they can't touch me. The topic of this group of people always made Walter Yang feel very inconsistent, especially hearing that familiar name again felt even more awkward. This group of people talks about the Honkai beast, and the stigmata are the hardest hit areas for chatting. Anti-entropy scientists such as Einstein, Edison, Planck, etc. have said it again, and they are all acquaintances he knows in this group of people. It feels so weird to be synonymous with a strong and hard-working pursuit of completing tasks. This game star god probably noticed our world and made it into a game. No, I'm going to see how it looks like. The moment the door was opened, Yang went to the bar first, took out today's internet fee, found the innermost machine and sat down. Luo Yu seemed to understand after seeing that it was Lao Yang. I didn't expect to recruit Lao Yang, I can't help it. Luo Yu had expected Walter's arrival, but he didn't expect to pay in such a hurry. Maybe he didn't want to see what the story of Benghai No. 3 High School was about. But from Luo Yu's point of view, the things inside probably won't disappoint Yang. Can't wait to start the game. Yang was quite surprised by the opening plot. The characters of the Moonlight Throne, Hersker Gem, Valkyrie, Destiny, and Himeko of Kiana Santa Freya Academy are almost the same as I remember. There is no need to doubt, which star god has definitely observed his own world, and there is no need to say much about the plot behind it. Yang knows more or less. The only thing he is interested in now is the battle inside. After Yang played the game, he felt that his strength was similar to that of his own world, and could not be compared with the strength of Star God. Why are they all Valkyrie, and the characters basically have to draw a lottery, and the price? Yang suddenly felt that this store or this game was too dark. This graduated SSS character plus weapons and a set of stigmata are basically comparable to the price of a Star Destroyer. Moreover, some of the 5-star stigmata weapons were made by him, or were made by the rivals of Destiny, which made Walter even less willing to draw stigmata weapons. It doesn't matter whether the stigmata is drawn, Walter, can fight against Honkai without a 4-star or 5-star stigmata weapon. But soon Mr. Walter was taught to be a man in the abyss and the battlefield. Even with his rich combat experience, without a set of 4-star stigmata, a half-century-old man was pressed and rubbed on the ground by a group of dead soldiers. There is no problem with the authenticity of the matter, but the experience of fighting without a stigmata weapon is extremely poor. Yang has nothing to say. At this time, a voice sounded, which made Yang's face darken even more. Uncle Yang, why are you being beaten by the dead? Does your Brnya character have no stigmata? Looking at Uncle Yang's screen on March 7th, she was a little puzzled and asked. Oh, I see, Uncle Yang is trying to test how much strength he can have without the stigmata, right? Yes, forget it and train Brnya. After all, she is the successor of the Hersker of Reason that I fancy. The weapons and equipment must be the best. Coupled with my strength, I should be able to do it in this game. Kill the quartet. Thinking of this, Yang gradually felt relieved, and then took the 3 single draws that he had worked so hard to pass through the plot and the early stage of the abyss. 1 single draw, congratulations on getting Hana, dog food. Yang, Subway elderly mobile phones. Isn't this Hana the standard stigmata of the Valkyries of Destiny? Can this also be stuffed into the pool? He doesn't understand. Chapter 23. The store's business is getting better and better, and the entire Black Tower space station has known the name of the Game Master Internet Cafe in about 3 days. Many staff members have been there more or less. After all, the most novel things are always the topic of discussion. If you don't try it yourself, you almost don't fit in. If you don't understand what they are talking about, then you will gradually be excluded from the circle. And after going there, I realized that there are actually games in this world that can become stronger. The consequence of his huge influence is that Luo Yu is already considering opening a new store to continue spreading his influence. A space station is just the beginning, and his ideal spreads throughout the universe. Before that, you need to recruit a clerk to help you take care of the store. Luo Yu had 2 candidates in mind. But it's better to have an interview. The 2 he hopes most are still in his heart. Miss Esta is at the number 1 position at the door, which is her exclusive position, and she saw what Luo Yu seemed to be writing on the small blackboard at first glance, and watched it distractedly, but just this one glance can't move. This internet cafe recruits network managers and waiters, and the benefits of becoming a network manager are as follows: free gameplay, free food and accommodation, full instant noodles and ham sausage, and a monthly salary of 30 xingsheng. Requirements: proficient in the game of our store, kill the tyrant with 1/3 of the blood in 1 knife in Resident Evil, and defeat the SS-level battlefield boss with a set of 4-star stigmata in Honkai III. The benefits of becoming a waiter are as follows: free 2 hours of game time per day, 2 additional hours of game time per day, monthly 10-star salary, just responsible for cleaning, helping customers make noodles and answering some questions from customers. Requirements: must be familiar with the store game flow and terminology. As the owner of an internet cafe, Luo Yu's every move has attracted much attention, and many people have paid attention to Luo Yu's writing on the small blackboard. When I saw the treatment, there was an uproar in the internet cafe. Playing games for free, including food and lodging, and salary, that's great. Everyone, don't be too happy, haven't you seen the request? I'm afraid this request is not for Gaowan. Killing a tyrant with 1/3 of the blood, 4-star stigmata defeating SS-level bosses are too demanding. Excuse me, please excuse me. It seems that I can only apply for a waiter because of my strength. The waiter is also good. 2 hours of game time per day, and 2 more hours of game time when playing by yourself, which is also very attractive. But Esta was speechless soon after seeing the request, and shook her head helplessly. She doesn't want waiters or anything. If she wants to be a handsome and operational network administrator like the boss, it's a pity that I can't play that kind of operation because of my handicap. Just as people in the internet cafe were eagerly signing up for service, a voice sounded. Since I haven't applied for a network administrator job, I'll do it. This request is obviously tailor-made for me by the little boss. This immodest discourse did not cause a backlash, but was unanimously approved. It turned out to be Ms. Haida. Ms. Haida definitely has this strength. I will always support Ms. Haida. I feel that Ms. Haida is only a little inferior to the boss. She deserves to be number one among the players. We have no objection to Ms. Haida being the network administrator. Everyone's response was almost the same as the chosen one. It turned out to be Ms. Haida. Do you have time to manage my small shop with all your daily affairs? Don't worry, as long as you can continue to interest me, I will be interested in investing in your store. I hope your games will never make me lose interest. And this doll of mine is just a gift to you as promised. It is just right to let her be the network administrator. When I have time, I will devote my consciousness to this special doll. This. Although the method of obtaining the Black Tower doll is different from what I imagined, but anyway, I don't really want to do anything with the Black Tower doll. He is just interested in the Black Tower himself, and the doll is a substitute goods. How can there be real fun? Luo Yu agrees, and the Black Tower is also satisfied, a win-win situation for everyone. So, little boss, are you planning to leave? Or how can you recruit network administrators? Ms. Haida seemed to react and said suddenly. That's right, this space station is almost done, and I am ordered by the game master to open up the next market. Hey? Is that far away? It's okay, if Ms. Haida misses me or someone makes trouble in the shop. If so, you can poke me on the penguin message in the computer, send me a message and I will come as soon as possible. That's it, you will get acquainted with it today, and I will leave tomorrow. Luo Yu sat at the bar and explained his work, but his words were not particularly serious. Who would think that you are so self-indulgent? I can't help it, I can be your ancestor at my age. Age doesn't matter, as long as you look good and have an interesting soul. Body shaping is too simple for you and me, and I pursue spiritual compatibility. You are really interesting, let's force you to be one of my suitors. I hope you will keep me interested in you. If you lose interest, I will kick you away. Don't blame me, I didn't remind you in advance. I am such a woman. Haida put his hands on his hips, arrogant or very willful. This is the willfulness of a genius. Then, since I am your interested suitor, can I ask you to dance before I leave? I seem to often see your puppet dancing in circles. Luo Yu didn't mind at all, maybe because he is a straight man, a straight woman is more suitable for him. What does Haida say is much better than a girl buried in his heart. At least if you don't like it, you won't watch it too much. You take a look. Then let's talk about it when you leave. And at 12 o'clock tonight, people should have almost left, but today is different. Huge banners hang out. Farewell to Manager Luo leaving the space station party. Miss Esta treats internet cafe players with instant noodles and ham sausage, and iced black tea worth 5 stars to increase mental concentration after drinking. Miss Esther even dressed up to attend, raised a glass of iced tea and sincerely thanked, "Thank you Boss Luo for his contribution to our space station." The staff of the entire space station have grown in strength because of this store, and each has a broader road. It also makes our space station staff more cohesive because of the game relationship. Let them get out of the shadow of the Antimatter Legion invasion, and let us add new entertainment. In short, thanks to the store manager Luo Yu and the great game master. He was quite moved by what he said, who had always calmly killed a tyrant without changing his face. A gamer might think that one day he would be respected by others because of playing games. Those familiar and expectant faces made Luo Yu reveal his true love. Smile, for this he made a decision that violated his inner principles. Thank you to all the players. Our store will not be closed all night tonight. The having of everyone's consumption overnight is our way of giving back to old players. I hope you can have a good time. Chapter 24. This party was very lively, and several people from the Star Train also came. Xingmei was even more puzzled about where he was going, and could he bring her with him? Believe me, we will see you again soon, and the family of Star Dome train is the most suitable place for you at present. We all hope that you will follow the train for a pioneering journey. Xingmei is the protagonist, what should I do if she ran away with me? Kafka probably rushed over to chase and kill herself overnight after hearing about it. Xingmei lowered her head sadly after hearing this, but she quickly adjusted herself as she already had her own thinking. See you later. Luo Yu smiled and nodded. It's my time, it's my time. I don't know when the boss will see you again after leaving us. Let's take a photo together to commemorate it. March Chi also came out to join in the fun and took a few group photos with Luo Yu. I'm afraid the new place will become lively soon, and you can become stronger by playing games. Boss Luo Yu has unlimited potential in the future. I hope to see your store on the way of our star train. GZI also came forward and talked about some flowers. Luo Yu said after hearing that it must be a small problem. I don't know how hard or dangerous this trip will be, but I believe that Boss Luo's strength will soon gain a foothold, and the name of the game master will gradually spread. There may be some troubles then. Walter Yang thought of this from the perspective of Luo Yu. The rise of emerging forces will inevitably be suppressed, not to mention the awakening of fate by playing games, which will inevitably affect other fates, and war may be unavoidable. Mr. Walter's thinking is very good, but we have also considered these. In short, if the enemy does not attack me, I will not attack anyone. If it dares to come, he will be defeated. Luo Yu is confident and full. In the end, Ms. Haida also appeared, and she was the real body, not a puppet. Everyone who saw this was quite surprised. It's a long life, and Ms. Haida has gone out, so I don't need a doll to replace it. But the real person is indeed very beautiful, 3 points more beautiful than the puppet, and also has more temperament. Luo Yu was stunned for a few seconds. Does it look good? Of course, even I didn't expect that. Ms. Haida, you are actually from the real body. Can I ask you to dance? Come on, but don't step on my feet, or I'll beat you up. Luo Yu. On the other side, Esta watched this scene secretly, which was a little sad. Obviously I came here first, the first time I discovered this place, the first customer, the first person to know this guy, but I was a little slow because of playing games. But since it's Ms. Haida, she probably won't be able to grab it, so she can only put away her emotions silently. In short, during the one-night carnival, some players left, some slept in the store, and Luo Yu looked at the starry sky and had already left. Before leaving, he received a parting kiss from Ms. Haida. And a new story is about to start. The next area is a planet almost covered in ice and snow, just like the blue star in the Ice Age. This kind of place really is. It can only be said that the universe is amazing. With the cold wave of the planet of extraordinary power, the last fire can be preserved to such an extent. But since I am here, this planet will gradually be saved. When Luo Yu came here, he quickly chose a prime location, near the Fort Cripper, where the Great Guardian lived, and bought it very richly, using Xingsheng to buy it. After all, Yalilo 6 has been separated from the outside universe for too long, so maybe they don't know what the credit points are, and they are using the Winterfell shield. And Luo Yu's store still has the same name, but there is an extra game on the small blackboard, Devilkin Cry 3, the original name seems to be forbidden. This is a game that really ignites the soul of fighting, is the most refreshing fighting game, unique scoring mechanism, and sword fighting under the BGM. There are few opponents in the industry. And Luo Yu naturally reproduced this game, enhanced it and optimized it. The energy and time invested in this is enough to create a few orders, which shows his dedication to this game, especially the action design is absolutely difficult. So 2 days later, after the renovation was completed and new games were added, the store opened. Although Luo Yu said it was open, Luo Yu did not make any publicity, but was just preparing to test a wave of finished games. But it doesn't matter if Luo Yu doesn't promote it, because the place he opened is quite good, and the city of preservation and protection, Belloberg, is so big, and soon someone asks what it does here. But after hearing that it is for playing games and the price is so expensive, even most people in the upper area refuse it. Before leaving, I didn't forget to say a profiteer. Luo Yu shrugged indifferently and continued playing the game. Although there is no one in this store for the time being, the store at Haida Space Station is very lively, and the Penguin News is very lively. Game strategy, stigmatic collocation, QTE coordination between Valkyries and the plot of Honkai are all topics of discussion. As for the initial version of Benson temporarily developed by Luo Yu, the plot basically ends with the voice in the dream in the second chapter, and Kiyuna's identity is revealed. And the next wave of updates will be fine. A new hairsker will appear soon, although it is said to be an embarrassing hairsker Wendy, but at least he can fight with the three of the protagonist group. It is well known that in Naruto, don't mess with ninja, and the same is true for B-rank Valkyrie in Bengsan Middle School. The Hairsker of Space, the Hairsker of Fire, and the Hairsker of Final Yankiyana, the Hairsker of Lightning, May, the Hairsker of Origin, and the Hairsker of Reason and Truth. I think Brynja would be very proud if she played against Wendy, who knows well when Luo Yu was busy. A beautiful figure stood outside the door and looked at the name of the store curiously. Game Master Internet Cafe? What is this? Because Yali Luo has been away from planetary civilization for too long, and has almost degenerated very seriously, Brynja doesn't even have a mobile phone, let alone the internet. But the Yali Luo civilization at its peak was unprecedentedly developed, and the current armor is not as hard as the screws in the past, and the engine of creation can explain a lot. Therefore, it may not be considered unusual in the Black Tower space station and internet cafes on other planets, but it may be really a rare thing in Yalilo. It's so strange that even the eldest daughter of the Longdeo family, who has a certain influence in Yalilo, the most cutting-edge Silva, doesn't know, or it will be restored after the arrival of the Star Train to save enough to reconnect with the external civilization. At least one step in advance. There is no Luo Yu at this stage. Boss, what business do you do here? After Shilava came in, she asked curiously. Luo Yu. Playing games in an internet cafe. Luo Yu was speechless. Has Yalilo's civilization regressed to the Middle Ages? Then turning the head, the first thing that catches the eye is the long black silk legs with very good material and fabric, with perfect proportions and slender. Cough, is it true that in the Middle Ages, princes and nobles highly admired silk items? Luo Yu thought to himself. When he looked up and down the face of the visitor, he remembered the identity of this person. Silva, the eldest lady of the famous Landau family, likes rock and roll machines. Chapter 25. Maybe the black silk is too attractive, who wouldn't be confused by it? The lethality is huge for leg control, and Zillawa's dress is very trendy, and her hair is also highlighted. It seems that she is out of place in this backward world, but at least she is a mature big sister with online value. And it seems that the three children of Landau's generation are all very handsome. Zillawa is not surprised by Luo Yu's eyes. As a music player, she is still informal, and there are many people who admire her. How do you play games? Do you use this thing in front of you? Zillawa looked at the equipment in the store curiously, and felt that it was quite high-end and out of place. Yes, everything you play is written on the blackboard. The price is a bit expensive, but since it's a new thing, it's good to experience it. The first interested customer, Luo Yu, will always be warmly entertained. As the first customer to open this store, this cup of red bean milk tea is considered a welcome gift. I hope you enjoy the game. According to local conditions, Luo Yu directly chose red bean milk tea, a steaming milk tea, as the main beverage product in the high cold Belloberg. And the drink that can be created by oneself is naturally not ordinary. It has the negative effects of removing all fatigue or severe cold, warming the body and mind, eradicating diseases, and drinking it will prevent all diseases. Silva was not aware of these effects, and took the milk tea cup. It just feels warm and warm. Red bean milk tea? It's something I've never heard of before, but thank you, boss. Zillawa took a sip with a straw, and immediately felt that the place where the milk tea flowed was warm and very comfortable, and the whole person felt much more relaxed, as if taking a hot bath, and even the bad thoughts in the heart were almost gone. It was swept away, and apart from these, it was the sweet and glutinous taste of the red bean milk tea. This is due to the fact that the current planet is frozen and the lack of food has caused the citizens to have little demand for food. And because of this, the impact on the people of Belloberg was simply a mudslide level. Silva's eyes lit up instantly. Wow! Boss, your drink is really amazing. I have never had such a delicious drink in my life. This is the specialty drink of our store, and it's really not available outside. I didn't expect such a good thing in your store. Can I have 2 more glasses? I'll bring 2 glasses back for my brother and younger sister later. This is not allowed. The food in this store will not be taken away. You can only drink it in this store, and there is a limit of 1 cup per person per day. Luo Yu flatly rejected Silva. Although he was a little disappointed, he was not angry. Understood, it should be because I am afraid that outsiders will find out that the secret recipe of spying on the boss is also a marketing method, right? This seems to be hunger marketing, I still understand this. If someone made up their own brains, Luo Yu wouldn't say much. It's really good that the environment of your store is different from other things in this world. Zilloa sipped the milk tea while observing the various equipment in the internet cafe. The chassis in the white sea view rooms are full of colorful lights inside, which is very cool. Because of the atmosphere, Luo Yu set up a case, but it is not really needed, it is just a decoration. Zilloa doesn't know much about computers, and Luo Yu has to guide her. Boss, is that game fun? That's pretty good, play that if you are interested, but seeing how trendy your outfit is, the latest game should be more suitable for you. Devils Can Cry 2? The name of this game is interesting. Is it about demons? Putting on the holographic goggles and headset, Silva said, and soon a picture appeared in front of her eyes. The sky was as bright as a moon, but there was no cloud in the sky, but the heavy rain slanted like a waterfall. On the field of duel, two men with extreme contrasts, one red and one basket, are fighting. In the video, a female voice whispered. You should have heard of the legend of the Black Knight Sparta. When I was young, my father often told me that in the ancient times long ago, a demon betrayed its kind for human beings. He used his own sword to seal the demon in the alien world and closed the gate of the alien world. However, because of Bada himself is also a demon, so its power was also sealed. The world is divided into the light world and the dark hell demon, and the two are originally one, and the demon launches an attack on human beings in order to unify. However, Sparta protects human beings with a benevolent heart, raises the sword of rebellion against its own race, and wins in the end. On the big screen, with a plain and somewhat emotional voice, it was still narrating. I never took it seriously, thinking it was just a wonderful fairy tale, but then I discovered that this so-called legend is not a myth. Sparta, there is such a person, because I have seen his son. The two figures on the big screen gradually became clear. One was wearing a dark red coat, holding a two-handed sword, and a young man with a bit of evil charm in his heroic martial arts, while the other was 90% similar to him. Blue Windbreaker, two people wielding their swords, so fast that they can hardly see clearly, only the countless turbulent sword winds, and the grey and white curtain marks left in the rain can prove that they have used the sword, and it is extremely fast. The two are the sons of Sparta at the same time, with the same blood in their blood, but their personalities have nothing to do with each other. Dante is red and Virgil is blue. Dante's hair falls naturally, while Virgil's hair stands up. Dante's character inherits his father's human side with enthusiasm, and his attacks are full of flamboyance. Virgil, on the other hand, is an extremely cold and taciturn man. His attacks always use the simplest expression and the most calm way to deliver the most damaging attacks. The battle between the two is very pleasing to the eye and refreshing. And the emotional BGM sounded. It was the theme song of the game. It was once popular on the internet, and became one of the promotional songs of all the netizens. Wow! Boss, is this also a game? Zilloa felt that her 3 views had been impacted. Such a real picture was in front of her eyes, and she could observe various perspectives according to her thoughts. This was already a miracle for Yali Luo, who was almost on the verge of destruction. Yes, this is the game of our store, and you can also participate in it and become one of the protagonists to experience the life he has experienced. Is that so? That would be really interesting. Silva couldn't wait to gear up and get ready to fight. And as Virgil finally knocked the big sword in Dante's hand away, under the light of the sword, he saw Virgil stabbing Dante's heart with a knife, and the old family passed on the stabbing. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you are notified of future uploads. You can find the next parts in the playlist visible on the screen or on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.